Okay.
Okay, yeah, there you have it. That's your intro. Okay, we're doing.
Okay. I can make the puppy growl.
You could just go crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you.
Jojo.
Oh God. Oh
Baby
no.
bean. Jojo, no. I love how well she's responding to the finger snaps now.
It
It's almost
just
like an off switch.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work all the time, though. She's like really barking. If she's going to town, she just ignores the snaps. I don't know if she's not seeing them, not hearing them, but she's not like ultra well trained. But I'm getting her to the point that if she starts growling when I'm streaming, if I start snapping at her regressively, she does stop.
No. Okay. Well, you'll get there at some point.
Someday, man, someday. Oh, hey, there's a firmware update available for my mixing board. Maybe that's why things were being stupid.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it sounds all pretty good right now, so don't touch
Yeah,
anything.
I'm not. Yeah, no, no. When I meant being stupid, it was filtering my gaming PC into the mix that's going out to Discord. I'm like, wait, like what the hell's what's going on with that? Why is that happening all of a sudden when I've been streaming for a very long time while talking to people on Discord and they never hear my game audio? So why is it happening now?
Well,
Like I had to play Pummel Party with the speakers, like my living room speakers.
Yeah.
And I had like one of my earphones on so that I could kind of hear the game,
Oh, yeah, I
but not
remember you
make it
saying
loud
that,
enough
yeah.
that it's going through the mic. It was not a very elegant solution, but Pummel Party was fun though.
Yeah.
And happy birthday
but thanks.
from last week.
From last week.
Well, I mean, last week we actually got to play, like, we had a birthday party. I didn't really expect that.
Yeah. I mean, nothing was really planned. I was just like, everybody come hang out and see what happens. And then we played Pummel Party. And it was great.
Oh, wait, I messed up our time traveling. It's actually 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're right. Damn it. Ah, well, continuity ruined.
Yeah.
I actually
So
installed
if there's
Windows.
been any, I was going to say, if there's been any big Kingsman franchise news, there's a reason we're not addressing it yet because it hasn't happened for us. Because
Right.
our luck, it'll just be like next week the trailer for
Oh.
the next sequel comes out, and we're like, well, we didn't address that at all. So,
Oh, yeah.
in
No,
the
that's-
episode that came like 2 weeks after that, where we're talking about the Kingsman coincidentally, but
Nothing has
Okay.
happened. I mean, I haven't heard any rumors or anything for a while. As far as I'm concerned, the Rasputin one was the last one, and I haven't even seen that yet. So,
yeah, it's that'll be our recovery stream when we finish Madam Web and this one back to back.
well, we'll see. The thing is, I have some dates coming up where I'm not around, so maybe we can do more of the
Or pre-records,
Matthew
yeah.
Vaughn arc. Finish
Actually, yeah, if you want, we can just save the Matthew Vaughn movies until
Yeah.
we run out of them, obviously, just for our pre-records. Because yeah, I think last week's episode went pretty well.
Yeah, it was fun stuff. Pretty fun movie.
See, I got the time traveling right there.
Yeah, there you go. We saved it. Continuity reestablished. Nothing ever went wrong. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about right now. I mean, this is like back-to-back days, so nothing really happened. We went to work, and now we're back here. Hooray!
Yeah, I had some training to do at work, like computer training, like going through a course and doing quizzes and stuff for it. But it was all stuff that I've known for a very long time. We have a lot of these things in the military where you just have to do a course. So I was reading it, but I also had Kingsman playing on my phone below the monitor. So
boy.
in my peripheral vision, I was watching Golden Circle like for a second time in the last week, just so I was more prepared on it. Also, I was like, well, I gotta watch something, and like I'll be listening to something regardless. So. Yeah, I'm fresh. I just finished it.
Woohoo! Well, me too.
How'd you like it?
I mean, it didn't piss me off as much as you made it out to be, but there's
Really?
there's definitely things in there that just piss me off by just because they exist now. It was definitely pretty weak. It was way weaker than the first entry.
And that is roughly the reaction I had the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've watched them both pretty recently though, so I don't think you'd be missing anything that I caught necessarily, other than the fact that I'd seen it before.
mean,
So nothing was a surprise really.
I also had a lot of more time to watch this one because I wasn't in the office that day, so I could start earlier. So I took more notes.
Right on.
But it's a lot of things
hey,
where
if
I'm
you-
just.
If you can,
Go ahead.
I was saying, if you can convince me to like this movie more, I guess I'm up for that. Because
I mean,
do
I
like
wouldn't
the
really-
franchise. I just really hated this one.
I wouldn't really say I like it. I think it's pretty meh. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it again. I'd rather watch the first one because the
Yeah,
first one was awesome.
And I'm currently in. This is the second entry in the franchise that they turned into its Last Jedi. Like, oh man, they kind of destroyed a lot of stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll have a discussion and figure out which middle ground we can meet upon.
Right. I mean, basically, it just starts with Eggsy coming out of the tailoring shop, the Kingsman tailor shop, and
getting right into it.
There's Charlie. Hello, Charlie. Remember him? He was the last dropout before Roxy became Lancelot. Yeah, he's survived. I was like, hold on, wait.
Actually, I thought that they handled his survival pretty well. Actually,
I think it's absolute nonsense.
But with his like the electric ring, the signet ring.
Well,
that
if they would have kept it there, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
But he lost his arm somehow.
Yeah, just
how did that happen?
I don't know.
Every person's head exploded, and somehow because the electric thing was like, oh, he only lost his arm and his vocal cords. Like, okay, I'm on board with the vocal cords, right? Because that's close to the chip.
The throat, yeah.
But they showed him like his arm is just basically cut off. It's like what? What?
I guess what must be happening there is the damaged section was the top of the chip that blows up the head, or the top of the structure. It's not really just a chip. It's like a pretty big thing, which again I thought was odd because it made the scar very easy to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that it was enough for me that like, okay, the signet ring was established in the first one as being like an electric shock. He does use it in the first movie right at the guy's neck. So I'm like, that's enough for me. I'm okay with it. The arm blowing off thing was absolutely just put in so that they can
have a cool robot arm man.
Yeah, see, they're appropriating my culture here.
Oh no, get him! Go get him!
Well, and so I guess the robot arm, which it comes into play pretty well. Although I did like that he said, "Hey, look, you look like a gentleman, and I look like a pleb now." And that was. And I thought it was actually kind of a ruse more than anything else, but he's kind of dressed like that for the entire movie. So I guess he's toughened up. He's gotten rougher, given up his gentlemanly training. But then they start going to town fighting in a car with the Charlie's robot arm that is incredibly. It's much more high tech than anything we've seen in the series so far, and that will be a trend going forward. It's a different kind of comic booky. It's like now we're doing superheroes essentially.
Oh, they crank it up quite a bit with the technology, especially later when we get to the US.
Oh boy,
dude, the fucking alpha gel, Jesus Christ, why?
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, oh god, we'll get to that part, but like when Eggsy uses one on a character and.
Yeah.
Like, why is the other person not doing anything? They're like, no, really, I'm not crazy. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. They, as you already said, they fight in the car with the robot arm. I mean, I think it was pretty entertaining fight. It was all right.
Yeah. I mean, it was well shot. It was just a step into insanity further than the original one ever went. And the original one he gets like pretty over the top.
He gets kicked out for at some point and. Falls onto the door or gets kicked out of the door and just surfs on the thing on his back and holds onto the car and gets back in. Like
and then another car hits the door and he jumps over the car and the door and then lands on the top of the cab that they were in.
Yeah. Actually, I think I can probably.
I mean, it's a good stunt. It looks a little CGI-ish and more so than a lot of the stuff in the first film did. I found, but
I'll show it on screen here real quick. Like,
okay.
Woo! Yeah, that's like nice. It looks cool, but man, that's a pretty crazy shiz.
It would be a very cool thing to see in a Matrix film, and it would work. Like it would totally work if it was like literally a fight in the Matrix, like within not the film The Matrix necessarily, but the Matrix itself. And Eggsy is still supposed to be human, right? So. At a certain point, it's like, well, okay, it's the sequel. You're ramping things up.
Yeah, they ramped things up.
I wasn't out at that point. Like, I was like, okay, well, off the bat, and this is on my rewatch because I think I must have just turned my brain off when I watched it the first time because I really wasn't very critical of it. I just kind of walked up being like, that one wasn't very good. I hope the next one's better. Because I think I also probably the lead up, I knew that Harry was going to be in it, so I'd made my peace with him coming back because he's like in the trailer. So they at least didn't try to. Well, I mean, now that I think about it, the best way to do that would have been to surprise people with it, right? Like, I actually think advertising him was a bad idea.
Yeah, it just gives you throws up questions like how, and then you explain it. It's like no, that.
Oh, and the reveal is a lot less meaningful if you've like seen the trailers or even the poster. You know, like because they have the way it's set up. You have like him as the Lepidopter. Usually we'll get to that in sequence, but yeah. I'll talk about that when we arrive at it. But the Lepidopterist arc was interesting. I actually didn't hate that part though, to be fair.
Which one? Sorry.
Harry's Lepidopterist arc and how it kind of resolves while he's where it goes from when he's there to when he's out of the room.
Oh, okay.
And the thing that gets him out of, I was like, oh man.
So yeah, they just have a bit back and forth. At some point, he crashes into a thing, so Charlie flies out, but the arm stays attached to the handle that is like on the ceiling of the car.
Yeah.
So that arm is in there, but now he has
holy shit bar. That's what we always used to call it when we were teenagers, because if someone did like a power slide turn or something,
gotcha.
you hold on to that. It's like holy shit.
Yeah, so we get to see the foot blade again, the shoe blade again, which gets yeeted off by that arm earlier and goes into the cab driver, and he instantly dies because of all the neurotoxin. It's like, oh no.
A good, not a bad callback, you know.
Like
the neurotoxin being the thing that comes out of the shoe and kills, and it's the same effect that's used on our bionic leg lady. Not bionic, actually, just prosthetic.
But yeah, now this robot arm is in the car, but Eggsy is not allowed to blow up the guys who are chasing them because they can't contain the damage, I think is the idea. And then Merle's like, now here's a dark zone while he's in Hyde Park. And I don't really know what he means with dark zone because the police is right behind him, as we learn 2 seconds later. Because he basically just shoots a rocket, like a triple rocket, blows them all up, and it's like, yeah, good dark zone. Anyway, police is straight behind you. You need to get out of there. It's like, oh, so it's not a dark zone? I don't know what you mean with dark zone. Maybe you mean something else.
Yeah, like, is it like, I don't know.
Could have just said, there's no
radar there.
There's no people here. You can blow them up here, so there's no other casualties. I think it would have made more sense. Dark zone sounds like it's like concealed and nobody sees what's going on.
Or they can't communicate. Like if it's just an area where like it's a dark zone, so you're not going to be able, you won't hear me.
Yeah,
that's probably what we would say like for like out in the field. It's like a radio dark zone. It's like, well, there's a mountain here, and we're in a position where we don't have an antenna that can project over it. So this is an area where we have no comms. So if a mission needs to go into that area, everyone needs to be very careful because they can't call for help easily.
The way he gets away from the police is by submerging the car into the lake or pond or whatever the fuck it is in Hyde Park. I actually don't know. And but his windscreen is gone. It tells it Merlin. He's like, well, you're pretty good at holding your breath. It's like, okay.
He's like, remember from your training.
Yeah, and then he drives in there to a little safe zone where the car is parked. But he has to get out. But the only way out is through the sewer system with all the poop and stuff.
Well, and he says, he only says, we can't do the debrief now because I have a dinner that I can't miss. Like, there's no way I can miss this dinner. And he's like, well, there's another way out. It's right here.
And it's like, how important is that dinner? It's like, well, watch me. And he just jumps in.
Yeah, watch me. And then jumps in, like fully submerged, too. I probably would have climbed down and tried to at least keep my head out of it.
Oh, he just fucking books it. He just... jumps right in there.
I mean, he's swimming through poop and pee, everybody. So like, I mean, there's a good reason for him to not have his head in there, and he just doesn't go in head first. He goes in feet first, but it's a pencil dive, and there's full submersion.
It's pretty nasty. But yeah, gets back out and basically just runs home. And home is now Galahad's. Well, he's Galahad now. Harry's
Yeah.
old house
Hmm.
because he gets that when he's Kingsman. That seems to be part of the package. As they said
Yeah.
at the end of the first one, it's like, oh, that comes with a house. You should come live with me, mum. Which apparently she
Yeah.
doesn't actually, because he lives there with his girlfriend, which is
Yeah,
the
actually, that's
Princess
true.
of
The mom's not
Sweden.
in the movie. Yeah, yeah, and that was this is probably our first real subversion, and I didn't hate this one because
That was
I
kind of
don't
fun,
mind.
like because it was
Yeah,
kind of made as a joke, but they apparently actually got close, and now they're
well,
a couple.
I think though the way it did damage, because while I do think it was fine for Exy's character, and like I don't really have a problem with it because I think she's good, like the actress is good, she plays like very pretty Swedish royalty lady
Hmm.
quite well, and I think the problem though is her function in the first movie seemed to be setting up the Bond girl pattern.
Hmm.
That like this is a series of movies in which the spy will do a cool thing, there will randomly be a drop dead gorgeous girl around, and then the movie ends on him kissing the girl or something, then fades out and you assume they have sex.
Right.
Like, because that's a lot of Bond movies do end that way, and the subversion is that like no, it's not that kind of movie, bruv. Like we're gonna just have them like they actually got together. Like their first time together, they had anal sex, and apparently it was very very good.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah, whatever makes your freak flag fly. Like just
Exactly.
be careful, make sure you're safe.
Yeah,
Use
yeah.
some lube.
Lubingston. I
Condoms too, everybody. Just because you can't get her pregnant doesn't mean you can't get an infection inside your urethra, which, yes, I've treated soldiers with that.
hmm.
So be careful.
Well,
Protection. Telling you.
well, there you go. We learn something every day.
Yeah, I mean, I might have saved some lives right there.
Nice.
Or at least it saved people from a week of antibiotics and at least one night, probably, of a burning sensation in the penis.
That
Not
doesn't
a good
sound
time.
fun.
Not a good time.
That
No,
sounds
it's
like a
not.
bad time.
Opposite of fun.
Anyway, in the meantime, Charlie's Roboham, it's remote controlled. Oh no! It's hacking the cab for information, and it seems like it's getting information of all the Kingsmen. Full stop. That was a full stop there. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, like all of them. Absolutely all of the Kingsmen.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, yeah, this I guess this is subversion number 2, and the one that I suppose bothered me the most because, well, I guess I mean it happens a little bit later, but the act of Charlie's arm getting that information results in every single character from the first film being dead except
Yep.
for Merlin and Exy,
Yep.
including Jack Bauer, including JB.
Right.
And yeah, not fun.
No,
I
and
like that
apparently
puppy.
there's no alarms for that as well, which I would kind of
Or
assume
missile
that would
defense,
happen.
yeah, like safe zone, like or in that Kingsman house or Kingsman office, even like Kingsman Taylor's. There's not like blast shields that you can put up if a missile's coming in.
And when the missiles are coming in later, the alarm goes on, like it turns on super late, like 5 seconds before impact. It's like, that's not
Yeah,
very helpful.
yeah, I know. It's just like, wait, what happened? And honestly, I think it might be because they wanted to shelve Roxy until possibly bringing her back somehow.
Maybe,
Because you notice
yeah.
that she slams her computer down, then you see her run, and then you see the house blow up from outside.
Yeah, it shoots
So
like
it's like, well,
into the ground and goes
yeah,
down. So I was kind of expecting her to come back at some point, but
yeah,
none of the people we see get exploded come back. They seem
yeah.
to
At
be
least
all dead for
not in
now.
this movie, at least. Yeah, as far as we know, canonically they are all dead, which I didn't love,
Yeah.
especially because they got was it Albert Finney that was playing Arthur in this one? He's the new Arthur. I think it
Uh,
was it was some actor who's like a really good actor. He's only in a little bit.
Probably. I'm really bad with actors' names, so I
Oh,
can't
okay,
tell you.
okay. I think it was the dude from the Tim Burton one with Hugh McGregor, Big Fish,
Big
the old
Fish.
man in Big Fish. Did you ever see that?
No, I don't think so.
That's a pretty good movie. Very different from these films. But yeah, we'll talk about Big Fish another time. Maybe that's a more wholesome kind of
The Big
uplifting
Fish.
movie that we can do without any crazy fight scenes.
Oh,
Just good heartwarming stories.
sure. But yeah, this is a little bit later. I mean, I don't mind jumping around. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I mean, well, the I guess that's the result of Charlie's finger being in like Charlie's robot finger being in the computer that's on the cab. But I mean, even then, like, you think, why would there be a way that they could get that much information from a remote unit?
I don't know.
Like a
It
cab,
seems
like something that could get stolen and could be torn apart and hacked. Like, because all you'd have clearly the cab driver guy is vulnerable to damage. So like ultimately, what's stopping any of their villains from killing one of the cab drivers while he's waiting for like the Kingsman person to come out and then stealing the car, right? I mean, I guess there might be some locks on they can't drive it or something, but I don't get it on a flatbed. What's it gonna do? It's still an object in our reality.
Yeah. Also, man, those were like 12 rockets or something that got shot just at the UK in random places.
Yeah.
I feel like that should ring some alarm bells, like internationally.
Yeah, it's just not a problem.
Those are like intercontinental rockets that just fly towards the UK, and it's like, oh well.
It's okay, everybody. They hit secret spies. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all covered up.
We leave the secret spies and evil organizations alone, and we hope that the secret spies stop the evil organization before they kill everybody on the planet every so often.
Well, but the president, this one is a weird evil person as well.
Bruce Greenwood, who just knocks it out of the park and follow the House of Usher, is a cartoon Southern president, I guess, is probably the best way to describe him.
Probably.
He's very over the top. It's not a great performance.
I find it pretty silly and stupid. I don't know why this is in the movie even. It seems unnecessary.
Well, because I guess I don't know. Yeah, you're right. They probably could have just not shown the president. They could have just had a line of dialogue saying the president and the Pentagon have no idea what to do about this. We haven't the CDC
in negotiations, something like that. But they make him this evil person. It's like, oh, we're going to kill all the junkies with that. I won the war on the drugs, and then they just put them all into the stadium in cages. It's like, what?
Well, I mean, I assume that, I guess, were the cages just to be like, yeah, we're just going to let them die here? Or was that to make it easier to distribute the vaccine if she does release it?
I'm pretty sure they call it emergency hospitals in the news.
Yeah, field hospitals. I think
but it's just cages upon cages stacked up. Which reminded me of Atomic Heart, funnily enough, when you get this one scene where they all just go crazy. But yeah, it's a bit weird. Wait, where was I?
I think the Atomic Heart DLC just came out too. Like someone I think tagged.
Yeah, Trapped in Limbo or something. Yeah, but I don't care. I don't want to play it.
Yeah, neither do I really. Well, especially because I doubt that'll be on Game Pass. We'd have to buy it. I'm like, I don't want to play more Atomic Heart really.
But now we get to see the evil lady of the movie, where we go to Miss Poppy is her name.
Poppy.
Hang on, let me.
Played by the lovely Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I thought she was pretty good in this.
I don't like her as I don't like this villain. I think she's silly.
I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, she is silly, but I thought that she played that part well of like just some.
Sure, but
wine mom nostalgia lady who's like very, very insane. Like. And like I guess her brutality I think is probably what got me. Like not just it's that she seems so wholesome and friendly, and then she'll do the thing that we'll talk about when we get to that. Unless not a wood chipper, but it's close.
a mincer, I think.
Yeah. But then makes the dude eat the burger.
It does.
A really fucked up part.
I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah, she is not to be fucked with. She actually does act like a cartel drug lord.
Yeah.
But it's like a 50s wine mom who loves, a wine mom who loves the 1950s nostalgia in particular, not the 1950s. She specifically cites movies like American Graffiti, Happy Days, the TV show, and there was one more. I think it was Grease.
Yeah, probably.
And those were all not from the 50s. They're from later, looking back on the 50s the way we do now with 90s stuff.
Because now we get to see the town. Oh, damn, I went too far with the visual there. Oopsie. It looks like very obviously CGI. It looks a bit too fake, if you ask me.
Yep, that will become a trend in the Matthew Vaughn films.
I think it's already here in this one. There's a lot of very obvious CGI, which looks kind of ew.
There's a couple shots in the first movie that look a little rough, but I think in general it seems pretty convincing as like actual stunt work and not just CGI fight scenes with people running around and stuff on
Yeah.
a fake background. It seems like they're in real places, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah, because here now, because this lady built like a town in the fucking mountains called Poppy Land.
In undiscovered ruins, or ruins that are heretofore unknown to the rest of the world except for Poppy's cartel.
Yeah, so I'll just throw this on the screen here. Like this is how it looks. She's built like a bowling alley here and a clothing thingy. Yeah, salon.
Diner too. The diner is probably the part we see the most.
Yeah,
And the theater.
that's like the main thing. That's where she hangs out. There's a theater where Elton John is being held.
Yeah.
He made me laugh. Like he actually did make me laugh.
I didn't hate Elton John in this movie. I thought the use of him was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And while his kind of big moment is a little contrived, it kind of makes sense within the rules they set up in this movie, at least. Like the Elton John friend.
Oh yeah.
Rocket Man. So good. I did like that part, but what I liked about it in reference to the first film is she says when Valentine was kidnapping all these celebrities, I knew that could be my moment to get Elton John, and no one would notice because all these celebrities are going
right.
So he's the one who got caught by the cartel instead of Valentine.
But yeah, she's talking to Angel and the other guy. I don't even, he probably has a name.
He's not very important.
No, he dies like very soon. But she basically is like the biggest drug dealer in the world. Nobody knows about her. She likes the 50s, as you already pointed out. And yeah, she built like bars and barbershops and stuff like that. And yeah, the guy brought another guy called Angel. And he's like, well, you gotta know, I'm the boss. Nobody has to say no to me. All that evil stuff. I was like, well, he over here, he made a bit of an oopsie. So can you just throw him in the mincer? And they go like, yeah, that's silly. And then she just turns it on. It's like, no, I mean it. And then we see the robot dogs because she built like builds like robot stuff to some degree. It's kind of weird. They make like a kind of a big deal of it, but she basically just has these two robot dogs. A robot tattoo lady, I guess you could tell her, because she does like the ring things. And then the robot arm. I was kind of expecting like some kind of robot army at some point, but when we get to the big fight here, it's just normal dudes and these three robots. Because she makes
you're right, three. Okay, yeah.
Because she also makes a big deal. It's like, oh, that's why I build robots, because they never say no and listen to me. But she has like three.
and then all the rest of her guards are human.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like, well, you hire a lot of people, even if they're not very trustworthy or reliable.
Yeah.
And also, how are you making these robots? That's never established. They don't ever say she's like some tech genius or anything like that. I guess you could assume, I'm more writing the movie for him, you could assume that because she sells so many drugs and is as powerful that she is, that she has just connections all over the world and can get things sent to her that were made elsewhere. Like, I feel like she's not constructing them there.
Yeah, probably.
That's the only thing that makes any sense to me, because I'm like, well, why did we never get to see, like, even like, who's making these? Is there another character that just didn't show up?
He's late to the party. He's on vacation. He comes back the next week and everybody's dead. He's like, what happened? What?
Yeah,
my robot dogs. What the hell?
Oh god, yeah, that poor guy. Or his creations, or hers. We're an inclusive show here.
True.
But yeah, so the thing I didn't like about the robots in general, though, is it's another thing that I think started stepping on the MCU like gas pedal. And it's like, well, now there's robot dogs who are very aggressive and seem to behave like actual aggressive guard dogs, like pit bulls essentially. Or I guess they're Dobermans, I assume. Just because of the way their ears are, and anyways, they're a form of trained attack dog, but they're totally robot. There's nothing, not cyborgs. It's not like there's a real dog controlling it, and they act like actual dogs. So it's like, well, this is pretty high tech stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly thought that at some point we were going to learn how she has access to this tech, and they just don't address it. It's like, no, she's an evil villain. So yeah, she has one of her subordinates are robots, though. Some of them. But she has a lot of guards too. I don't know. It's like I think that they probably could have made the same movie and removed all the robotic tech, and just thought of some different solutions to things. Because yes, the robotic tech comes up a few times in the last act, and it might have been a better movie. Like I just think the robots and the robot arm and all that stuff just started pushing it into the realm of silly. And I thought that the first film kept it in the pocket a lot better.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy's minced meat now. We go briefly back to Eggsy and Tilde. I think that's I remember
Tilde.
the name correctly. Tilde, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to show you how to do the royal eating things because you're gonna meet my parents. And it's like, no, it's cool. Harry actually taught me, which I don't know. I didn't mind that. It's just nice that he.
I love that. I love that scene, and I think that if they wanted to keep Colin Firth in the franchise, that would be the way to do it. Because all you'd have to do is anytime Eggsy has to do something gentlemanly, have a flashback to Harry teaching him.
Yeah. Oh,
and you can make a bunch of cool scenes like that. You know, you'd honestly make a limitless amount because there's a lot of shit to learn about like proper etiquette and stuff.
Yeah. Also, he has like his own crazy adventures, spy adventures in the past, so you could also do these if you really want them back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that as well. It's pretty neat. Makes a bunch of sense. He would have taught him because he even points out like I didn't think I actually would need the royal part of those teachings, but yeah, I got that down.
Well, I think the side effect too is it gives the audience a little lesson in being a gentleman.
Yeah.
You know, like it actually does teach you what all the things that like a royal formal dinner would be. And like you might never have to use that, but I think that's like, well, you know, if you were paying attention during that scene, you can kind of learn that thing. So it would be neat if these movies were just kind of filled with little lessons how to be a gentleman and like improve your manners and, you know, make a man.
Yeah. Also, you see that he actually misses Harry, like because he still has Sparky in the toilet, and it's like, oh, Sparky, you miss Harry too, right? And you can see it in his face that he's pretty upset about it. Which that's great. You didn't even need to say anything because he is a good actor. And
I was okay with this entire scene. I had zero problems.
100%. This is what I mean. Like this is mostly this movie is mostly pretty meh with like some pretty neat bits here and there that I like.
I think the big problem is that the heights of the highs are not frequent enough or high enough to cancel out the lows of the lows.
I found this movie parts to be a bit of a slog to get through, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's not a problem in the first film.
No. But yeah, we go to. Wait, did I skip something? Hang on. No, he goes to the Kingsman headquarters. No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, this is where they tell us about Charlie, and how he even survived. It's like everyone's head exploded, but his arm fell off and his vocal cords got damaged. But we already talked about this, so you can just go right ahead. Then we go back to Poppyland and see that the guy Angel, he gets his makeover, which means he's getting his teeth filed, his fingerprints lasered off, and he gets a golden cosmetic tattoo.
Yeah, I mean this scene was pretty brutal. I didn't hate it. I thought that like this is significantly intimidating. Is like this is your initiation into this gang. It's they with no anesthetic, it seems, or anything like that. No drugs that are even helping you at all. They file down one of his molars, like at the back of his mouth, and then fill it with a gold tooth, and then use ultra like molten gold to form a little like basically make a little with a tattoo gun. It seemed actually. I kind of thought that they were just like pouring it in the circle, which to me would make perfect sense. But it seems like she's actually got a tattoo gun, shooting it underneath the skin. And then it's still burning like actual molten 24 karat gold. And that's like their symbol.
Yeah. And I think it's stupid they have it. Because why would you go through the effort of filing the teeth, getting rid of the fingerprints, but then have this universal sign that the Kingsman actually used to track people down at the end because they seen all these golden rings. It's like a very obvious sign that they're all connected.
I suppose the fingerprints make sense.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
that-
no, I'm
compiling
saying
down
the
your-
teeth and the fingerprints, that makes sense to me. But then you just kind of ruin it by putting this universal symbol on all of your people.
Yeah, that is easily identifiable.
Exactly. Especially when you put it where
like,
his is.
Show me your chest.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not in the golden circle. See, my fingerprints aren't there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, pull down your shirt.
Which it was actually kind of yelling at the screen when they shoot Whiskey in the face. And it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
you don't know. He was like, why is nobody checking for this ring? Why is nobody, like, is he the ring? He isn't. But why wouldn't you check? Like that was like the first thing I would try to figure out.
Yeah, why would you? There's a few things in that scene that really bothered me.
Oh yeah,
because I'm like, all of a sudden Harry had no interest in Whiskey being dead.
Yeah, that's true.
He was like, well, yeah, okay, you can save him, sure. We'll have a boss fight later.
Oh yeah, him shooting him in the face is not justified at all. It's just a hunch. He even says it's like, oh, it's a hunch, and he was right. That's all there is. Like, oh, you still had no reason to actually shoot him in the face.
I mean, like, I guess he should not have referred to it as a hunch. Be like, I was watching him. He did not need to get anywhere near that antidote. He grabbed it out of your hand and threw it.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah,
but he's just like
working against us.
Have a hunch.
Trust me, Exy. And then there is that element of like, well, his brain's kind of not all there possibly, so he might maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And I think that the idea of Harry saying trust me and like saying no, this is what happened, I didn't imagine it, it's what I saw, and he is our enemy, he would kill us, he'd kill us the second we turn our back. And Eggsy then has that's kind of what they do, but it's just Harry doesn't seem that assertive about it.
No, not
like,
really.
He seems to be thinking like, yeah, no, I just kind of feel like he's evil, so I shot him.
Because I think before he can even go back and actually talk about it, they already have the confirmation that he is evil, because then they have the boss fight. Yeah, it's yeah.
And then even Eggsy kind of says like, we're on the same side. It's like, well, how did he get here, man? Like, if none of the other statesmen are here, why is only Whiskey here? If it's the secret location in the middle of nowhere that no one knows.
Oh, he got that from Ginger Ale, and then he used the jet.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
The silver pony, because they can also do that. But then again, I have a problem with this whole logistically with how things are happening there.
Well, I mean, where's the runway? That's a good question.
Oh, not just that. Going from Kentucky in the USA to Cambodia, that's like a very long flight. That's like 9,000 miles or something. Yeah. I checked. I guess
I guess if the jet's a Condor, it's supersonic, so it would be less than that. But I mean, that's if it is a Condor or Concorde.
I don't know. It's one way or another. It's like a couple of hours flights. Anyway.
A supersonic jet, though, is a thing that exists. Like, I mean, most fighter jets are supersonic, and if you fly across the Pacific at supersonic speeds, it's way quicker than you think.
For sure.
But he's still in the air for hours. Like, it's not. He doesn't just get there.
And then the big plane, it's the same. Because it's funny because Tildy is paralyzed, and then I guess she's standing there for like 10, 15 hours. Paralyzed.
Totally paralyzed, unable to move. But like, what's weird though is that if they're that paralyzed, why does it take their diaphragm so long to not work? Because it's like they can't move at all. Like, she couldn't even close her eyes.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like the diaphragm's a pretty big muscle that needs to be working so that your lungs actually get the pressure they need to work. You know?
Yeah. Anyway,
so I don't know. That was a bit of a medical thing where I was like, I don't know. I don't know if you could be that paralyzed and then it'd be a long time before you stop breathing. It's like, I think that would be pretty quick, actually. I mean, the mania, nothing's wrong there. You could have them in manic states forever and then they just die because they get totally paralyzed. But it's the death happening long after the total paralysis that kind of like bugged me a little. But again, that's a nitpick. I can admit that much. If it was my only problem with the movie, I'd be pretty happy.
But yeah, Angel comes back to the diner and she's like, "Here, eat this human flesh burger." And yeah, that's you gotta do that because she's fucking crazy and insane.
Oh my god, yeah, it would be so disgusting. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
No. Isn't it also bad for you to actually eat human flesh? I think I heard that in like
Theoretically, it is potentially a cause of effectively mad human disease, the way there's
yeah,
mad
that's what I
cow
was thinking of.
disease. Yeah, and I think there was a guy who, I don't think he was a YouTuber. He was like a political pundit. Reza Aslan was the guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
That he did this show where he'd go to all these strange cultures and try to
Oh,
do little
right.
documentaries. And so he ate human brain, and then apparently, like he's not really around anymore because apparently he started getting like really erratic and like
Oh
hard to
no.
work with. So it's like, yeah, there might really be something to that. That if you are like that, there might be a genetic self-defense mechanism or defense mechanism against cannibalism.
Right,
Like
right.
maybe if you eat the brain of the thing that you are, it does mess you up to the point that's like, no one should do this ever. That's
Interesting.
actually, you ever played Until Dawn?
Until no. I
No,
know
oh yeah,
I
God,
know
you
Mala
played.
played it.
I was about to say,
Back
man,
in
you
the
played
day.
the other super massive games. You didn't play the one that was actually kind of okay. I mean, they all play like they do, right? So like,
Oh,
I'm not
I've
saying
seen
it's
I've
like an
seen you
amazing
actually
game,
play it
but-
back in the day. It's weird because the the decisions you make, they're all dumb and weird and
Yeah,
don't make any
all
sense.
all of your characters are stupid in every single supermassive game.
Yeah.
But the point is that less so the gameplay and more the lore of the Wendigos in that game
Mhm.
were supposed to be like cannibals that eventually like just kind of went insane and turned into literal monsters.
Right.
But I think that is a legend that came about because anyone who tried eating like the bodies of their victims in war to be a tough ass ended up going insane and having like seizures
Whoops.
and dying. Like, so it's like, yeah, no, don't eat human flesh or you'll become a Wendigo. It's,
Right.
it's code for don't eat human flesh because you'll go nuts. We've noticed it.
Makes sense. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Then now Eggsy is having dinner with the family, and the father is just asking all these questions about politics and stuff, and Tilly's like, "Come on, it's just a family dinner," and then he just goes like talking about like a professional, but obviously he's getting help from Lancelot over the glasses.
Oh yeah. I like this.
It's kind of
This is
fun.
good. Yeah. He
And
just gives him an impossible question.
yeah.
It's one that no one would have an answer for, and then he just takes a minute and is like, actually, I think that just, like, gives him exactly the kind of answer that would impress a dude that deals with that stuff, but like
Yeah.
a brief one, you know. Like,
And yeah, it's just like, oh, why can't he just eat his fucking pudding? I need to research the these people that have like those golden rings and stuff.
it's like I need to do actual work.
Yeah, and then she it's kind of fun because apparently he can use the glasses to write text messages with his eyes. And he's like, "You're the best."
That
He's
was
like,
cool.
"Best friend or best agent?" It's like both.
I actually, I think there's a mode for that on that Apple
Vision
Scuba
Pro
mask. Yeah,
Yeah,
I call it the Apple Scuba mask. It's what it looks like.
it's so. You know what I find funny about this fucking thing? I feel like just yesterday people were made fun of if they have like a VR headset on in public, and now Apple releases a product like, yeah, well, that's the future. It's like, whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess the idea is if we can get them to Kingsman glasses, that's kind of the point that they become extremely useful.
Oh yeah.
But I don't like, man. That would be
I think it's
messed up.
$3,500 though. Like it's super fucking
no
expensive.
No chance. Not definitely not.
That's insane. And then I've seen people like driving their car, like of course a Tesla because those rich people always have a Tesla, and then the auto drive, and then they're doing the little fucking thing with the pros like
auto drive
do you,
while using
it's like,
it.
do you want to die? Or
I think that was a meme because the person was recording it and then they recorded themselves getting pulled over. So I feel
okay.
like they wanted to do that and like make a viral video out of it. But because otherwise, why would you, honestly?
I mean, but you know people are actually
you're-
gonna do that. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah.
They're gonna
But
do it.
it would be really easy to spot, at least in the current form factor.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, so if a cop was anywhere near you, or like you drove by a plain color cop car, like, do they ever do that in Germany? where
Uh,
it's a cop car, and if you get really close to it, you can see the writing. But if you're anywhere, like if you're even 2 car lengths back, you won't notice it's a cop car because it just looks like
okay.
a Taurus or something.
I don't know if they
Or-
have that. They have like little like these slidey text thingies where they can like just pull over, is what they say, and then they go over.
Oh.
I think I've seen that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, I think though that oh man, I had a thought and now I kind of forgot what it was. But it's okay. We can move on.
Right. But yeah, she's still looking for information of the tattoo people. I think she finds a couple. Oh yeah, earlier the dinner he has to make is like his friendo's birthday party, and there they establish that one of them has to look after the doggo, after Jack Bauer. And 2 of them is like, nah, I'm busy. It's like, I'm allergic to dogs. It's like this kind of bands. And then he was like, yeah, I can do it, but only if you drink with us tonight. It's like, yeah, let's. And then just having a good time. But he's hanging out in his house now. And JB is like scratching on the door. And it's like, oh, fine, I'll let you in. And then I think Brandon was his name, if I'm not mistaken, the friendo. And it just fiddles around with something on the table and immediately opens up the door with all the guns in them. I was like, what the fuck? That was easy.
You know what we can talk about though before we get into the specifics of this scene? Did you figure out what I was talking about with the newspapers on the wall?
I was
Like
about
the
to
tools they
say,
made
look
in
at the
this movie?
stream, and you can see I already stopped on the paper thingies, but I just realized we're not streaming.
Yeah,
So,
no,
yes,
I'm doing this by imagination, man.
Yeah, no, he sees, he has 3 newspaper clippings
Three
on there.
newspapers up. Yeah.
We got,
so he saved the world twice since we last saw them, and that's what I really like. That it wasn't just the Valentine thing up there. It's like, oh yeah, Eggsy's been going on some adventures.
Yeah, one of
He's
them
significantly more experienced now than he was even at the end of the first movie.
Funny enough, one of them is
nice.
Pop Star Missing, Elton Gone. The other one is Banger Out of Order. It's like something about sausages.
Yeah.
And then something about the labor and Tories with seats and stuff. I guess votes or something.
Yeah, just an election or something like that.
But yeah,
like,
he
normal everyday news.
But he continued the tradition that Harry did in his room, and Harry had a couple of more. You can kind of still see the places that they were hanging.
Yeah, I love that too because it showed that he probably took them all down with care. He's probably holding them somewhere as like a memory of Harry, and he's gonna honor Harry by filling up his own wall. Like, this is how I pay you back for what you did for me. And that was all told with visual storytelling. They don't really ever say that.
It's just pasta, and it's like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah. And that was really good.
They kind of use these. They use Harry's paper clippings later, not the clippings themselves, but what was the what was on those newspaper clippings when he did the certain thing for the spy stuff. Like Merlin asked him about when he's checking his memory after he shoots whiskey in the face. So they kind of use that as well. It's kind of nice, kind of neat. But yeah, I like that too.
Who's my favorite singer?
I don't know.
It's John Denver. Mark Strong was so good in this movie, though. I'll give it to him. He was thoroughly entertaining every time he was on screen.
Just looking at how he opened that stupid wall, like he just sits down. Oh, there's like a thing. There's just a knob. He just twists the knob and it opens up.
Yeah, no, that was very contrived.
And he's like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And then he takes one of the grenades.
Yeah, well, like, that is just bad firearm safety in general,
Oh.
man. Like, I own firearms, but you can't get to my firearms that easily if you're just walking around my house. And you will need to know some codes and stuff. So it's
Well, he just turned the knob, and then he gets one of those glasses and is linked up with Eggsy and Roxy basically immediately. And there's like a feed coming through. He has a gun in his hand. It's like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing, man? And he's about to light up something with those grenades. It's like a kind of amusing scene because Eggsy goes you put that down, while the father has like a tea in his head. It's like, no, I told you to put that fucking down. He's like, what the fuck?
I mean, the best thing he could have done is just pretended to be sick for a moment, say "excuse me," and then
That's what I was
covered
thinking,
his
yeah.
mouth, run towards that, and then saying, "Put that down. That is a grenade. Put it down right
Mm-hmm.
now," while covering his mouth. Because I think that would have been better than just shouting at him. Like, just be dead serious. Be like, "My friend," say his name. Be like, "You need to put that down now, or you will die." I'm not kidding. Like, close that thing right now. And I think that would have been the way to do it, as opposed to shouting at your girlfriend's dad.
Put that down.
But I mean, that was amusing. I will say that much.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was because it was a very serious situation. Like, it was not something that he could like wait until later. I just think that shouting it was probably the wrong move. But as far as instinct goes, I mean, everyone probably would say that. Like, can you imagine having a live feed of your friend being in your room, pulling the pin on a grenade and not realizing what he's done?
What's this? Like, oh my god, don't let go of anything right now.
Keep your hand on that spoon forever.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can you actually put that ring back in? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I-
The grenade's not armed until the spoon comes off.
okay, I thought so, but I never actually knew. I was just wondering.
Yeah, the pin is basically the safety. So
Yeah, that
once
makes
you've
sense.
taken the safety off, when you throw it, there's nothing holding the pin on, the spoon on, and you don't actually have to pop it before you throw. You actually just throw the grenade because the spoon will fall off,
Right.
and then take cover immediately. Because even if you can throw pretty far, like that shrapnel might be moving, man. So
Oh, yeah.
get around a corner or something.
Gets very-
you don't want to be in the path.
Gets very fast.
That's actually the one instance during like basic training or any soldier qualification training, like infantry courses, things like that, where members of the Canadian military are allowed to put hands on candidates, like make physical contact with them.
Oh, when they fuck up
And-
with a grenade.
Well, because if the grenade bay basically has like the way we do it is we stand in this like concrete box with a couple like corners to it. And there's a little window at the bottom so that once you go down, take cover behind the concrete, you can see your explosion
Yeah.
and like.
I think
like,
I've seen a
understand
box like that before, actually, online somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, when
Sounds
you're
familiar.
learning, when you're not just actually, I think even actually the RSOs would probably be there when you're actually throwing. Maybe not. I don't know. I've thrown grenades a few times, like since training, because I was up in a field unit where we do it annually, and sometimes we just do it with dummies, like just like, hey, annual qualification, we forgot to do it this year. Quick, throw these. Show
Oh, right, yeah.
Grenade safety. But if we got to do, if we were having like a big field exercise that like a lot of resources were being put into anyways, it would be like, well, we'll get a grenade range, we'll do grenades one day, and then that's our like annual training for grenades qualified. It's just like, okay, you can do it. But the thing is, you'll have a guy like standing beside you to your right, and the hallway is to the left. So basically, if you say drop the grenade or you pull the pin and then like the spoon just comes off and you panic and you just don't know what to do, they are allowed to grab you, force you into the room, and pull you behind the cover. And it's
Right.
technically the only time that you're allowed to be like violent with your students.
I mean-
because it's like no, that is the time where that is all you can do.
That
And
makes
if
sense.
that person's having an anxiety attack or like they're panicking
Yeah.
and they drop a fragmentation
Oh,
grenade,
Jesus.
like a hand grenade, it's a really bad thing. So
Yeah, it's a bad
it's
time
like-
for sure.
I've never once even been around when there's been an accident at a range though. So like generally they're pretty safe. It's honestly not very hard to use one properly. You just got to not freak out and not drop it. Really,
Yeah.
just remember to throw it after you pull the pin, and that's all you have to do. Do not pop the spoon off with your thumb and cook it. You're not playing Call of Duty. Your
Fine.
life is on the line here too. And as I said in a previous episode, the timing on a grenade is a lot shorter than you think it's going to be. So,
I wouldn't have
Don't
the
hold on
balls
to
to
it for
even
too
attempt that. Fuck that shit. I was gonna throw it. Just
Oh,
get
yeah,
this thing
absolutely.
away from me as fast as possible.
even our dummy grenades, like anyone that you ever throw, I've never once seen the spoon not fall off. So
Right.
it does fall off in the air, and that also gives you an extra second of being safe because you've thrown it. It might have like maybe a half second of fly time where the spoon doesn't fall off. But especially if it's spinning in the air, it'll fall off immediately. So yeah, you never have to pop it.
Well, now we
And
learned
again,
about grenades today.
the enemy does not have time to throw it back. So don't worry about that. That's a video game thing.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, now what did we learn today? Throw the grenades and don't put them between your legs or between your
Yeah.
feet. It's a bad time.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. There's anytime medical or military stuff comes up, like weapons and things in movies, I might have a tangent.
Oh, I had some people in the comments that were annoyed with you and Brooke talking about the weapon ownership in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
That's because I don't, because I just don't talk about it because I have no idea. But
I mean, I do. I understand how Americans view firearm ownership, and honestly, I'm kind of in support of theirs more so than ours. I guess my personal view is that, yeah, I think you should at least be able to prove that you can safely handle a firearm. But that is at the same time saying what you're saying is that is taking the right to self-defense away from a person, ultimately. And it's like, yeah, well, you're right. I guess ultimately, the right to self-defense does take precedence over safety, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, I just think it's a personal responsibility thing. I think everyone should like learn firearm safety and how to properly handle a firearm.
I would do that. I think that sounds pretty reasonable to do.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think I was being too hard line. I'm not like anti-gun. I own guns. I own a lot of them.
Yeah. I don't because I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, see, yeah,
It's
hippie
Germany.
Canadians were allowed to have guns still.
Actually,
We have to definitely jump through more hoops.
like I couldn't even tell you how it would work here. Like I have just no idea. I
Do
think
you
you
guys
need
hunt?
to. I think you need to go to like a hunting club or something, and then.
I
do
mean,
it
yeah,
there or
like
something.
that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
you probably would have guns for hunting if you guys.
Oh
were
yeah,
allowed
there's
to hunt.
definitely hunters that have guns and stuff. I just don't know how they handle like weapon safety, if they are allowed to have them at home or if they need to have them wherever they work with them. You know.
Like at the hunting club.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, at
like,
the
yeah, you
range
come
or
here
something.
to hunt, and then we lock up your weapons for you. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's something I would
that's
need
the
to read
truth.
up on because I don't know. But there's like no cross section with me and guns, so I don't read up on it.
Well, I mean, there is with me. So I guess on this episode, I'll clarify to the Americans who hated me on that episode. I am
I would say
pro
it was like
2A.
2 comments, so don't.
Okay. I was say like I am pro Second Amendment though. I have enough American friends that I know understand their love of the Second Amendment and the reasons why they want it, and you know I think firing guns is entertaining. Not at people, you know. Like I'm not saying murder people, but go
What?
target shooting.
Boring.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, get a deer if you want, but then eat it, right? Like, don't be an asshole.
Food.
Yeah, venison's good. Deer meat is venison.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
But yeah, he closes the grenade. It's like his life is saved, but actually it isn't because now all the rockets we talked about earlier, they just all start flying in.
Yeah.
One into Eggsy's house, then we see Roxy. As you already said, she kind of starts running away, so they might pull a fast one on us at some point. It's like she actually did survive somehow, or whatever. Well, I don't know. She's not coming back in this one. That's something I was actually like,
not.
oh, they actually didn't bring anyone from these explosions back because obviously they bring Harry back. We talked about this already.
Yeah, and that's kind of thing. I'm like, man, if you're gonna bring Harry back, why are you killing everyone else? Like, I mean, is it just like, see, there are consequences. We do have people who die. I guess that's probably the thought. That's like, okay, if we bring him back, we need a lot of other people to die. But I mean, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me, especially with Merlin, man. Come on, that's later on, but still.
Yeah. But yeah, we see the new Arthur looking at all the Kingsmen, and they just all vanish one after another because their fucking missile alert system fucking sucks. It just, like, Arthur sees it like 4 seconds before it happens, and he just goes like, oh, fuck, and then just all explodes. So maybe just show this to the audience out there. I'm gonna show it here. It says all targets destroyed, and it goes from north to south. Is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Scotland,
9, 10 locations where they just all fire ballistic rockets, intercontinental rockets at them. And if I just look at this, I didn't even notice this. They all come from different directions as well. They come from left and right. Like, I don't even know where exactly these come from.
We get a lot of the U.S. president, but we are never shown the British prime minister's like reaction to any of this.
Yeah. Like, this is insane. These are 10 intercontinental rockets fired at the whole of UK, and no one is like batting an eye. Like, officially, I mean.
I guess the movie is pretty long. Like, it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But I think the way to do that and have it not be silly is just have fire teams go in and then give Roxy a fight to go out on. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think that would have been good. I would have actually appreciated that. I'd be like, oh man, they killed Roxy.
Oh,
if we
hey,
just
you know
saw
what
her
else?
like kicking a shitload of ass.
How about all
and then
these
just, like-
robots that we talked about
Oh
earlier?
yeah.
Send a bunch of
Well,
robots there.
God, I think that would be more high profile than the missiles. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, like, there was a bunch of locations in the UK where, and like a platoon of robots went into a house. Like, I'm talking Terminators, man. Like,
Okay.
can you-
Okay,
can
maybe
you
normal
imagine the
people is better.
eyewitness-
You're right.
Can you imagine the eyewitness accounts? It would be so funny. It's like, no, did you mean like guys in outfits? Like, no, I mean,
No, they didn't even have
you
any
ever
skin.
seen-
Like they're just skeleton,
Yeah.
robot skeletons.
like the human version of the dog is what I'm picturing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of somewhere between a Cylon and a Terminator.
Oh, Cylon. I haven't heard that in a while.
Oh, I mean the dogs had the little
Yeah.
back-to-back red light, so I'm just gonna kind of thought Cylon.
Yeah, that's fair.
We could do a Battlestar Galactica arc. That would be
boy.
a long one though.
Uh,
That show has a wide range of quality. A lot of it is very good. A lot of it is pretty weird.
Funnily enough, I only ever seen the last season.
Oh man, so you only saw weird stuff.
I've seen the twists. What happens?
Okay, yeah, it's not great.
Well, I've seen that before I did all the media stuff, so I don't
And
even
you'll see it
remember
again.
how it was. And I've
Hell
never
yeah,
seen it from the start, so I don't know.
You said I've seen it before, and then I said, and you'll see it again. That's a
See it
callback
again? Like,
To,
no.
the odd ending of Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
But I mean, there's a lot. Like honestly, if the beginning of season 3 is the peak of that show, and you have to watch season 1 and 2 to understand why. But they do something really cool at the end of season 2, and then the full first arc in season 3 is nothing like what you'd expect it to be, and it's quite fascinating. JoJo, good baby.
Well, maybe one day I'll rewatch that show. But yeah, all the Kingsmen are getting blown up, and Poppy is like, "Yay, we did it! Good job, Charlie. Here, have a new boss-ass arm. Where did I get it from? That's none of your
The
goddamn
arm.
business. We're not gonna tell
Yeah.
you."
The Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah. Oh, that's
And,
right.
like,
That's what she
the way
calls it.
she's talking about it, it sounds like she built it, and
It kinda
they
does.
yeah, or designed it or something. But then I was like, what is the supply chain like here?
Because
You're
she,
in the middle of nowhere.
because she also puts it on his like on him and straps it in, like she knows what's going on with that thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. That's the only technology. No technology. It's the only robot thingy that actually is in this little town. So I don't know. I don't know why there's this focus on robots when there's like 3 robots and a robot arm. It's really odd. I don't understand.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. It seems like an unnecessary push into the world of comic booky more than spy filmish. And I liked what a mix of the two the first one was. It was like just a little bit superhero-y, but mostly it was a James Bond movie. It was
Yeah.
just fun, and the character was a little edgier. Eggsy-er.
Oh.
Yeah, not bad.
Talking about him, he is checking out his house that has been blown up, and Merlin arrives, and he's like, "Oh, kind of convenient that you weren't blown up." I was like, "Well, I could say the same for you, X." He's like, "Oh, no, okay, fine." But
Yeah.
he actually has Charlie's old arm. It's like, that thing hacked in. Should have probably seen that coming. But, yeah, there's, we have to start the Doomsday Protocol.
Yeah.
And they go to a wine tasting establishment. Actually, before that, he's like getting told by Merlin to get it together. Like, we have to finish the mission, then we can mourn. Which at this point, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But they forget to do the mourning part at the end of the movie. Really fucking annoyed me.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the movie, okay, I'm going all the way back, like all the way to the end of the movie. So they saved the day. It's like, yay, hooray, we did it. And instead of having a scene where we do like a thing for our fallen comrades, we have a fucking wedding, and it's all happy and nice. And it really,
Yeah.
I think it was really fucking tone deaf. Because 2 times in the movie, he goes like, "Oh god, man, this sucks. Like, the people died," and I won't count the thing that they do in the set in a bit where they get drunk from the Kentucky whiskey.
Yeah.
And Merlin does like the comedic things like, I should have seen it coming. They don't do a thing at the end.
That's not healthy mourning either.
No, absolutely not. I think it was really tone deaf. We don't get anything. The only thing he does is like break Charlie's neck at the end. It's like, this is for Roxy, JB, Merlin.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I think that his catharsis was killing Charlie, because Charlie was the reason that happened. And fair enough, but also you're right. It sort of seemed like everybody forgot about all of the major characters who died in this movie.
Yeah.
By the end of it.
But Harry's back. Hooray! Woohoo!
Yeah, and like, I mean, I don't know, man. They like there's aspects of Harry coming back that I'm okay with, but a lot of it I just made me so upset. I guess like the first part of it that made me upset is very high level. It's just base concept. Because no matter what you do to bring him back, even if it makes tons of sense, it still kind of destroys his story in the first movie. Because his death was good. It was a good death.
Yeah.
It was like one of the better death scenes for a hero in any movie. And yeah, it's like, no, but he's alive in the next one. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Really lame. I kind of hate that he brought him back. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, they go to the wine tasting thing, go like to the specific wine tasting room, and they have a safe in the wall that all it has is a bottle of whiskey. And like, well, we should toast to our fallen people. And they basically empty all of the thing because apparently it tastes really good. And Merlin's like, oh, I should have seen it coming. I'm so sad. He's like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself. Without you, I wouldn't even be here. And then Eggsy looks at the bottle and sees made in Kentucky, but the K is the Kingsman symbol. And he's like, oh, I guess we're going to Kentucky. And then Merlin says, Kentucky Fried Chicken? I do like fried chicken, which kind of made me giggle, I'm not gonna lie. But he's like, no, proper Kentucky. So yeah, they're going to the US, to the what was it, Statesman Brewery or distillery, sorry, yeah, in Kentucky, USA. And their building is shaped like a big bottle, which I don't know, I think kind of endearing. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, they check the thing, hack the fingerprint scanner or whatever it was, and then they get attacked by Channing Tatum, because this movie also has a bunch of actors,
American dudes, yeah, and I thought Channing Tatum was underutilized, but I thought he was good when he was there.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe him who they are. Because he thinks they're here for the butterfly study man. That's like the actual word, but I can't pronounce it or forget what it is.
Lepidopterus.
Yeah, that one. But yeah, Merlin gets knocked out.
I know I've spoken of Venture Brothers before, but the reason I know that is that there's two agents in Venture Brothers who they used that as a cover once. He's like, no, there's no government officials here. My friend and I are just amateur lepidopterists.
Okay.
That's where I learned that word.
All right, well, there you go. But yeah, they're now here with Channing Tatum. He beats them up. He somehow knows how the watch works, even though he doesn't believe that they are who they are. I don't actually know how he knows that, but you know what?
Oh god, I have thoughts on the watch.
Oh, you mean the watch that can hack things and they only use it once, except hacking all the dogs and the robot?
When fighting robots! I was dying. I was just like, what are they thinking? Like, what? Why is that the way they solved the Charlie? Because that's the only time he ever really uses it.
Yeah.
To, like, malfunction Charlie's arm. So I was like, wait, hold on. You guys have been... What do you mean you didn't use that on anything else ever? Like, that was just your setup to be like, this is how we get rid of the arm in the fight.
Yeah, because when Harry...
There's a million ways you could have done that.
Because when Harry is back, he's like, here's your new Kingsman watch, updated with... it can hack everything that has a computer chip in it. I was like, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. I mean, you could have had something happen like... Charlie finds one of the baseballs and throws it at him, and then Eggsy grabs a bat and knocks the baseball grenade into the arm. And that's how you get rid of the arm. Like, he blocks it with the arm and it malfunctions, so he takes it off. And then Eggsy does okay, we'll make this fair. I'll be a gentleman. and put his arm behind his back, which is, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't hate the fight. I hated the fact it's like, wait, hold on. You did mention that before, but like you could have done that. You could have done this in your first fight with him. Why didn't you use it when you saw the robot arm and the cybernetic larynx? Why didn't you just hack into those and be like, okay, I'm gonna make it so that you can't say anything or do anything with your right arm at all immediately.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna disable you. It's like, oh, you have a robot arm, cool.
Not anymore.
But yeah, no, it's the magic hacking watch that is used one time and one time only.
Yep. And it doesn't even end the fight because then he fights him one-armed as well. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was okay with that because I always like the callbacks to the gentleman theme. Like, so it's like, yeah, well, you've got one arm, so yeah, I can still beat you with one arm behind my back, no problem.
Yeah.
And I could see Exy doing that just to troll him. That actually might have thrown him off more and won the fight for him, like through a psychological tactic. Because all you have to do is land a few good hits with the arm behind the back, and he might start thinking, oh man, he might actually beat me with one arm behind his back. And then you get your enemy panicking, and it's easier to win.
Tactics. But yeah, you're right. So yeah, they're all strapped in now, and he's about to burn their balls off because he doesn't believe him. And he also reveals, Harry, look at him go. He's here, just having a shave with his little eye patch and all those butterflies drawn on the wall.
Yeah, in incredible detail.
Yeah, he apparently is pretty good at that too. And they're like, Harry, but he can't hear them, of course. And before he can do anything crazy, Halle Berry comes in.
Super lucky.
Ginger ale. It's like, oh, by the way, I just checked our doomsday locker. They're telling the truth. It's like, why didn't you? Why? Why didn't you just start with that? Couldn't you have waited? Because they have an umbrella in there that has the statesman symbol on the Kingsman umbrella. He's like, oh, sorry about that, fellas. Just doing my job. It's like, no, fuck you. Could have started with that, you piece of shit.
Well, I like too when he said, like, Merlin says that he makes the joke about Scotch being better than bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like, well, it's nothing compared to a single malt Scotch. And then
also whiskey is spelled without an E.
Without an E, yeah. And then Eggsy's just like, nah, I love a Jack and Coke, bro.
Yeah. But I agree with the go fuck yourself part.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah. But yeah, they get untied and they immediately go into greet Harry. It's like, yo, Harry, what's up? He's like, fuck are you? I don't remember any of you. And I was like, oh, okay, what have you done to him, you statesman? It's like, oh, nothing. We're just trying to help. And he obviously asked the question, how the fuck did he even get here? And then we get a flashback. I was like, fuck me, this is all so goddamn convenient. So we go to the church thing where he died, obviously. About the statesman, they picked up a signal from the Valentine device.
Yeah, which, I mean, that makes a little sense.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But, I mean, where were they for trying to solve that, though?
They arrive, 2 seconds after Valentine leaves with their helicopter.
Very, very quickly.
And they go like, oh, here, we have this. Oh, God, here we go. That's the fucking thing. Hey, Tequila. Oh, yeah, he's called Agent Tequila, by the way, Channing Tatum. And Halle Berry's Ginger Ale.
Ginger Ale. Yeah, I like that name for the secretary of the girl Friday, like the guy in the chair of statesman being Ginger Ale. Like that was very James Bondish.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that naming convention. But I mean, hey, she's quite competent too.
So, hey, Chad, we see this. So they put a little thing over his face. And they have some thingies they put on the side. They call it alpha gel. And what it does is,
oh god,
it goops up the thing, and it's protects the brain for a while, or just protects the brain even though there's already nothing there anymore. I don't think any of this makes any fucking sense. It protects the brain, and then they bring him back to whatever station is nearest, and they use nanites to repair the brain, I guess, as best as possible or something.
Yeah. It's just like Metal Gear Solid 4 stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, no, Harry's back. Why? Because nanomachines.
Pretty much, yeah. Nanomachines, son.
Yeah, like it is kind of that's like, well, yeah. I mean, they knew that they definitely didn't know that they wanted to bring him back.
No.
And they're doing what they can, but also it sucks. Like
yeah,
it's
because
like,
now
no,
we introduced the thing. They specifically said, "Oh, we created this alpha gel in case someone gets shot in the fucking head." It's
Yeah.
like, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
Never
well,
do this. Here's the thing: I can, even in this universe, I can believe that exists, but as a storytelling device, horrendous, horrible.
Yeah, it kills your stakes. Like you now have to. You can't ever kill someone with a headshot. Like
Yeah.
you can never end a movie with a shot to the head, or even have a shot to the head. Assume that person is now not a problem.
Especially
you need them to then
after this
fall out
movie.
of a helicopter or get eaten by a shark.
Especially after this movie ends, because now the Statesman and the Kingsman, they're like basically one unit or partnered up. So
Yeah.
they should all have those alpha gel things flying around everywhere in case something happens.
Yeah. But I mean, also, like, why are you not giving that to every law enforcement agency in the world? Like, you just created a magic device that can save tons of lives.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's only Statesman.
And the repercussions for Harry are he has amnesia, and he goes back to being a bit of his younger self, I think is what they say. We do learn later, though, because this happens again. Another guy gets shot in the head, they do it again. And the Statesman already figured out which exact memory they need to trigger for everything just to be back to normal. So a headshot does nothing.
Yeah.
They're out of commission for a couple of days, and then they're Gucci again. No problem.
Yeah, no, like full duties, just like right back into active combat.
Yeah, because they
And
come back
that's-
like, oh, look at me, I'm this guy. How about you do the thing? And it's like, oh, well, I'm going to show you this specific thing or do the specific thing. And now, yeah, as you said, back to duty, no problemo. It's like, no, don't. It's like the in Guardians of the
Force
Galaxy
healing?
3, where they have these medical plate thingies that just put on on a wound and just go like,
Like
and then it's fine.
yeah, the stim packs that can just bring people
Yeah.
back to life.
What an incredible technology.
Yeah, and never used on Earth, never given to his home planet.
Oh, we'll never see those ever again because they're a massive problem for creating stakes.
I mean, I guess with the modern MCU writers, I don't think they care. I think they will use them again. They'll be like, oh, well, we shot Captain America in the head this time.
Oh.
But guess what? We got a stim pack right
Did you
on
know
it
we're
right
connected to
away.
the Kingsman universe? We have alpha gel.
God. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like that was a surprise to me during our show for Argyle. I didn't even know that. I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
After credits scene. I've been trained to just not care about those anymore because I don't even want to know what the next movie's gonna be for most of the Marvel and DCs. I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm just leaving.
Yeah. For the Argyle thingy, they hope to do 2 prequel movies about Argyle. So, yeah.
And is that Henry Cavill Argyle or Kyle?
Yes, I think so. I think that's the idea.
Okay. Because I was thinking, man, if they want to do an action franchise with Bryce Dallas Howard, I think she's got to start doing some training, man. Like she cannot carry an action movie.
No,
so like,
no.
if you said they were doing 2 Argyle prequels, like, wait, so it's supposed to be her playing her younger self, like carrying an action movie in all the fight scenes? I don't know. I feel like they might be going to CG Town a hell of a lot. Because like the closest thing she's done to an action movie is what the Jurassic Park movies. She runs sometimes. Like.
But yeah,
I didn't even see the third one.
Now we know that, and the Statesmen hope to bring him back now that they have some actual friendos around for him. But we shall see how that goes. Because now we go back to Puppy Land and see Elton John.
Yeah.
He's just
playing some Gershwin.
He just tells him, "Can you please play Crocodile," or whatever the song was? And he just goes like, "Fuck you." I don't know. He really cracks me up in this movie. There's something about it.
Great.
Fuck
I think actually Matthew Vaughn also. I didn't see this movie actually, but I think Matthew Vaughn made an Elton John movie where Taron Egerton plays Elton John.
Okay.
Shortly after this, so that's probably one of the reasons why the connection was there. It's like, yeah, I'll put you in a Kingsman movie. What the hell?
Yeah, he starts playing, and it's like, oh, Elton, you've been a bad boy, haven't you? And he's just like, It's like, oh, yeah, you did. Look at your hands. And there's like the blue
Yeah, he's
stuff
got the
happening. And I was actually
you can like
confused
see his
here because I
veins.
thought we're doing a thing where when they tell a lie, that shit
They
happens.
change colors.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty funny.
And I got super confused when it happens to Tequila in a bit. And it's like, wait, why? He didn't even tell a lie. He was just chilling out. Why did that happen? And then I later realized, oh, it's because of the drugs. It's just a symptom of thing. But yeah, he has like the blue things going on. It's like, what's happening? It's like, well, you had a bit of a party, didn't you? Who did you have a party with? And he's like, I was with Angel. And I was like, well, I guess then I have to clip his wings. Ayo.
Oh boy, don't want to hear that from that lady.
Nope. Right, what's next? Oh, they go to the Statesman headquarters basically, where Tequila is hanging out with him, and we got shit. What was his name? Is he just called Champagne?
Yeah. Jeff Bridges.
Which is exactly, yeah, I was about to say. He's played by Jeff Bridges. Actually, I had to look it up because I didn't notice him at first. I was like, who the fuck was it?
I clocked him right away. I guess you know what? I think it's his voice and like the
Yeah,
way
probably.
he acts. I was like, oh yeah, he does look a little different in this movie because he's got really white hair and a big full beard, and it's not he doesn't look like the dude, you know, like he doesn't have long hair like that. It's like,
yeah,
it's long and kind of slicked back and neat.
Well,
and,
I mostly think
really
of Iron Man
beard.
1 actually with him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. See, to me, he's the dude from Big Lebowski.
Oh, that too. I mean, of course.
Jesus, am I turning into the dude? I guess the dude
Oh no.
like the dude. I just kind of like, I saw that character. I was like, oh shit, he kind of talks like I do these days. Man, it's just an effect of getting old and being kind of a hippie.
No, but yeah, they have a little talksy, and it's like, well, now that I think he calls them basically the Kingsmans are their cousins, their English cousins,
Yeah.
and well, you get to use all our assets now, and we're gonna help you with what's happening.
Yeah. Champagne appears to be, at least in this film, just a straight up good guy.
Yeah, he's
Like,
nothing.
he's an they're altruistic leader, to contrast, I guess, to Michael Caine's sort of, corrupt leader.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like, oh, you got information? It's like, well, they have like a ring, drug dealers is what we think. And it's like, well, we might think that Charlie's ex-girlfriend is still in contact with him, so I've been tracking her on social media. And it was like, okay, that seems like a stretch, but of course it's completely correct.
Yeah, I mean, people text exes.
I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know. It's just I don't even know how they got there. I guess it was just a thing they were kind of aware of, and then they found it. I don't know. It seems.
I mean, if anything, it makes Charlie seem really stupid because, like, dude, you should probably
Yeah.
not be interacting with anyone you used to know, especially from, like, bringing them to locations where it matters.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
well, Tequila, put your dancing shoes on. You're going to the Glastonbury Festival, I think, or something along those lines.
Yeah, Glastonbury Festival. It's in Scotland. I've actually always wanted to go, or at least when I was, like, younger. Now I probably wouldn't go. I'd be like, no, it's too many people.
And Tequila's like, okay, let's do it. Yes, sir. But then, he's got them blue things going on. He's like, oh, shoot, what? You were right. It's like, no, I'm okay. It's like, well, you got like blue shit in your face. I'm like, oh shit. And that's it for.
Tatum gets shelved.
He is shelved. Yep, he's donezo for now. He gets put in the cryopod and everything later on.
He gets literally fridged.
He's literally fridged. That's true. Yeah.
He gets shelved, but literally in a fridge.
Yeah. And it's like, well, now Agent Whiskey is going to join you, which is played by Pedro Pascal.
The actor who plays every single thing ever now.
It's insane. Like, I was like, whoa, man, they have like all the actors in this one, don't they? It's kind of crazy.
They had all the actors, got like 2 hours into the movie, or like an hour and a half into the movie, and then still made Pedro Pascal one of the most major roles in the film.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what? He just took over.
Yeah. He's chilling out in New York, but they meet up for that thingamajig. Oh, now they try to jog Harry's memory by doing the filling up the cell with water thingy. And if you look around, you can see he could do the whole thing with the shower head and the toilet. Obviously, idea is just if his reflexes are going to kick in here at some point, and then he just goes back, but he just almost drowns and nothing happens.
Yeah, if his survival instincts can trigger memories that he would need in this situation, like if it just is, and like his id takes over and he just acts on instinct, might that help jog his ego?
Yeah. I mean, I guess their cells just fill up with water here as well for some reason. I don't know why that would be a thing. It's like just a random cell that can just fill up with water.
I mean, I guess it's a standard part of the training. It's like, well, we might have to teach them how to survive in a situation like this, but I guess if they were founded by similar people who are on the same page, then that would make some sense.
Yeah. It was kind of funny when Tequila had the blue stuff going on. I was like, oh wait, is he with Poppy? What's happening? Because I wasn't actually sure what was going on with the blue stuff at the time. And I was like, he's just getting sick now and shelved.
Yeah. Yeah, we have not revealed the pathology at this point in the movie. We don't know why this is happening to people.
We only know she is like a big drug dealer and all over the world. But we don't know her plan yet. I guess you could imply it already if you're really smart or something.
Yeah, you could put it together, but I think it's kind of nice that they just started showing the effects of the plan before laying it all out and telling you everything that was going to happen. They do go into full-blown explanation mode or exposition mode with it, like with visual aids and everything. Like it's like they presented like a stage play,
right?
And But I did like how they introduced it gradually, like with Elton. Elton, I think, is the first one.
Yeah, he's the first one where we see it.
Yeah. And I guess because she does not want Elton John to die, she wants to keep him. She probably just gives him the antidote, like, or is he green through a good chunk of the movie? I actually kind of forget that.
Oh, he when she does the television appearance, he is the one who gets the antidote. Oh yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, you're right.
No. Then we have a short scene where Tildy gives him a new puppy.
Yeah.
Like he's getting ready to go to that festival to do shenaniganders and find some stuff with Agent Whiskey.
I see. So one thing that bothered me about the conflict that happens here, like Eggsy's little scenario.
Yeah.
He probably knew why he was going there because like he understands the situation. Why would they not say, hey, one of us needs to hook up with this girl and this is how we're going to do this before he leaves, and why he can still call Tildy and have the conversation that he has in the tent?
Yeah.
Like I was like, wait, hold on, why is this a surprise to him?
Yeah, maybe just to catch up, because we're basically there just to catch up the audience. So the idea is the ex-girlfriend is here on this festival. She's like in the VIP area, and they have some finger condoms. I don't know how else to describe them, like almost like finger gloves or whatever, just for one finger. I mean, and they
we use those as dressings. Like they're not latex, the ones we use. They're like gauze, and that's kind of how you put them on. They look like a little condom, and if you have like a cut on your finger, it's a good way to dress it.
Yeah, and there's like a tracker on that, and the idea is you need to, well, put it up someone's ass or pussy, and then they go into the bloodstream or something.
Yeah.
I think it's a very silly device. I know we have technology that works without that.
Like, I mean, we're buying drinks for her.
Yeah, just put it in there.
Yeah, and like Eggsy's sleight of hand master too.
Yeah. So I find this whole conflict that happens with Tildy because of that just kind of silly. It's like, you could have just not... I've seen them put very good trackers on people's things without doing that. I guess it's unclosed. The idea is it stays on there longer or something, but I don't know. I feel like they have different technology that works without that kind of silly stuff.
You know what else you could have done? Especially if it needs to get in the bloodstream. Like if you say, oh, it can't go in the mouth, so if she drinks it, she'll just like pee it out or something. So you're out at a place where there's bottles, right? Like some of them are drinking from bottles. be in a situation where a bottle breaks.
Yes.
Like set that up, and then you take out like a little blade, obviously not with poison on it, and make a very small cut on her.
Yeah.
And then when you get back to the tent, where they'd be like, "Yeah, I'll patch up your arm for you," and then just put the chip right in.
Slay your hand. It's right
You
there.
you don't have to sleep with her. But I mean, I guess like the idea was, I thought this was a bit of a callback to the second test or third one, or the second to last one, the train track test, where the mission they give them is you have to go to this party and seduce this woman.
Yeah.
So how have Tildy and Eggsy not had this talk?
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible?
I guess that's the
was
first time that it had to happen, possibly. But then again, it wasn't a training, so maybe this should, I don't know. Maybe it's not a conversation you want to have, basically.
I mean, but you like, especially if you understand that your job is that. It would be like if you were a porn star or something,
Yeah.
Or I guess, sorry, we might need to edit out that word because YouTube doesn't like it. But if you were a sex worker of sorts, that would be something you'd have to tell your partner about. Like, you can't just surprise them with it one day and be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, it looks like I got to work tonight," and
Yeah,
that's what I do.
That's the reason. That's one of the reasons why Kingsmen are normally not allowed to, well, have girlfriends or a wife or anything. I guess that was a big thing. Why that's a thing? A big reason why that's a thing.
Which, I mean, makes a degree of sense. It's like, look, part of our tactics are like subterfuge through seduction. So you might have to sleep with a man even. Like, this might be something that is expected of you. You're gonna do what you need to do to get the mission complete, up to and including death, which at least in this movie they make pretty clear, while also making it less clear.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he also sees some people in the crowd having that blue rash, and apparently it's trending on social media, and a lot of people are getting it. So that's annoying for them, I guess. Even though they don't know what it is, they're just like, that's weird. Then we go.
I mean, it would be horrifying. Like,
oh yeah, it's
really
like, what the
looking.
fuck? Then we go quickly.
Basically, it just looks like your veins are turning blue, and you can see them through your skin, like bright blue.
Yeah, we
like a greenish blue.
Short scene with Poppy again, where Angel gets eaten by the dogs, basically.
Yeah.
And
someone had to get killed brutally by the dogs.
Yeah, and then this is also where we established that Elton John is friend, so he's not getting attacked.
Yeah. And I appreciated that. I appreciate that they do, and they established that Elton knows that the dogs will not attack him. Yeah. He's very clear on that. So as funny as the upcoming scene where that calls back is, it also isn't totally out of sync with the rules that are established. Like that's what I did appreciate about having that scene, where it's like, and it makes sense because it's like, she doesn't want Elton to die. Mm-hmm. She's like, no, I want him to sing for me and play piano.
Yeah. Now we have the tent scene. So, as I already said, the kind of that this is happening is kind of silly anyway, and they should have had that talk. So what is happening now? He's going back to the tent. He's like, oh, well, I need to have a wee. And he FaceTimes Tildy, be like, hey, I have to sleep with a target, but I wanted to tell you first, if you say no, I'm not going to do it. We're like, okay.
Wait, how would you not? So, like, that's the thing. It's like, giving her that option. Are you actually saying that, like, I will fail this mission intentionally?
Yeah, I will fail this mission and possibly kill lots of people because I actually don't exactly know what's going on yet. Because the whole plot with... killing all these people has not even been established yet. Because as far as they know right now, they're just on a mission to get revenge of whoever did this and getting rid of these evil people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like this talk, and she's like, well, no. And she's like, Mimi, about it. Obviously, she's not happy about it. I mean, I get it. And he has this also, as you already pointed out, this is in a tent. Like, this is a big VIP tent. There's no walls. There's just some cloth. And he's not being being silent. And he's basically only next door from what I've seen. So there's no way she doesn't hear it. But then again, she apparently doesn't even give a shit that he has a thing, because what happens in Glastonbury stays in Glastonbury. They do that kind of dealio. Yeah.
She says that she's with someone as well, and we assume that she's talking about Charlie.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, you know what? I can't actually do it, blah, blah. But then she takes off her robe. I just forgot the word robe.
Yeah, Robe, you're correct.
And then he's like, I can't do it. And then she turns around. Oh, no, she has a golden ring as a tramp stamp, funny enough.
Yeah, like, I mean...
So
like,
he basically...
like, why did they have to brand her? Like, that's kind of what I don't get, because it didn't seem like she was all that important to anyone but Charlie.
That actually...
So why would she even have...
That actually makes me wonder about the... Oh, wait, no. I think that still doesn't make sense. This is... Because I was just wondering, because she secretly gets the antidote at some point, and she doesn't want her to tell them. But I guess that makes sense, because then Poppy is probably just going to kill her anyway. But she dies there anyway, so I don't know. But yeah,
I mean,
you're correct. I don't know why she's branded. Like, she's just hanging around. She doesn't seem to be like a part of the operation or anything.
Yeah, like, I mean, all they would she was just at a music festival. All she would have to say is, hey, I got dosed.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? She could just be a
like,
supplier of drugs to this place, you know?
Yeah.
That's how she got the VIP tickets and everything.
Maybe, yeah.
You know? That's ways to make word, but, well, Eggsy, let's say, compromises, because instead of doing a fuck, he just does a finger. Just does it that way.
Well, I mean, like, that's the thing. And I think if he did that to begin with, he probably didn't even have to call her, to be honest. Like, if the plan was like, well, I'm going to kiss her for like 2 minutes. I'm going to put my hand down her pants, basically touch her, and then just say, I can't do this, and leave.
Yeah.
Like, that, I think, as far as like, if it's like your duty to seduce this woman and get that chip inside her, it's your mission. That is a perfect compromise, I think. But I think actually calling Tildy was a very unnecessary risk.
Oh, 100%.
And B, why would you put the failure or success of your mission on her? It's almost kind of unfair.
No.
Like, she's got to say, oh yeah, fail this mission for me. Doom the world, please.
Yeah. When he's done with that, he just tries to call Tildy back, but she's just like, no, I'm not doing it. And I gotta say, throughout these parts, he does a very bad job of just like, hey, by the way, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because we see the text he writes. It's like, babe, are you okay? I really need to talk to you right now. I need you. It's like, how about you start with, I didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Please talk to me. I need to explain it to you.
But he does a very bad job doing that. But yeah. Then we go back to Harry. Eggsy tries to talk to him again. And it's basically like, well, the guy you knew, he's not there anymore, so goodbye. So he shakes his hand. And he goes to some pub. Has some martini. He's like, that's not a martini. Well, it is here. I don't know. I don't really understand, because this looks like a whiskey or a brandy or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I guess they made a bourbon martini.
Maybe.
That could actually be a callback of him joking that James Bond's vodka martini is not a real martini.
Right. But yeah, well, he's trying to reach her. She's so sad that she gets some of the weed, and you're like, oh no, she's gonna be part of trouble stuff, because she's gonna have to have the blue rash soon because of that.
Yes.
He's looking through some pictures, and he gets the idea. It's like, wait, how about if I get a puppy for Harry that looks like Sparky? I think it was Sparky.
Is it Mr. Pickles?
Mr. Pickles, yeah. How do I get with Sparky? It doesn't matter. Mr. Pickles.
That's
like
a common dog name. Sparky, I mean.
Oh, that's probably why. And it's like, hey, you remember now? It's like a little goodbye gift. It's like, oh, it's like, how about I fucking shoot the dog? It's like, oh God, why would you shoot the dog? Well, you did that.
What kind of monster would shoot a puppy? You're the kind of monster that would shoot a puppy.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I like this scene a lot. I thought it was pretty good. And I thought that would be the kind of thing that you could see triggering memories. I think that the honestly, the drowning probably would too. Especially if you got that training, man, your muscle memory would kick in.
I wouldn't have minded if
you wouldn't even need to be thinking.
If they would have tried some more things, because we've only seen the 2 things.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Would have been kind of neat to see. It's like, here, try to shoot this gun, or things that he would do, you know, to jog his memory.
Take a look at this umbrella.
Oh yeah, shit like that. But
Fiddle around with it.
they try to drown him, and then it's like, nah, there's nothing we can do anymore. It's like, did you try something else?
Oh, make him a suit.
Yeah, make him a suit. Exactly.
Bring him to the tailor shop or something like that, or like get tailors to come in and do his measurements. Make him a bespoke suit.
What if
That
you
would've
show
been-
him
that
the
would've been
footage
interesting
from
to try.
his glasses? Oh, I guess all the Kingsman things are broken, so maybe they don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Nope, those are gone. Those are in the previous game. You're level 1 now.
Damn it! I was playing Metroid.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, this triggers this memory, and it's like, well, I'm back now. It's like, oh, Merlin. It's like, yay! And then they do go to a pub. This scene is really fucking weird, by the way. The way it starts.
Oh god, yeah, I really do not like. I don't like pretty much any of this scene.
It's like, here's your watch, and here we made you these glasses.
Yeah. It introduces the hacking watch too. I
Yeah.
just realized.
Yeah, that's the hacking watch. It was so weird. So they're just talking, like they're chilling out. Nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And then this weird Texas guy's like, "Hey, you homo, can you shut the fuck up?" It's like, what is happening? Like I rewound this part like 2 times. Like, did I miss something?
There's something that I figured out. He calls that guy Moonshine, which implies that he's one of their agents. So it made me even more confused. I was like, what the fuck?
Didn't even make
Like,
that. I just thought he was doing a.
Whiskey's right there, so like, why would he not just be like, hey, like these guys are cool?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's an agent. I think he's just a random guy. I think he was just saying that to knock him down.
That's odd then, because if all of their code names are drinks, why?
Yeah,
why
I could
refer to
totally
another
see how
character in
you
the film as
made that
drink?
connection, but I don't.
Why not call him an asshole? Like you could call him anything.
I think suppose he's like Southern Texas, like, oh, you moonshine drinker. I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be.
But I
that
can
they're,
totally
like,
see how
most
you made that.
Crass agent they call Moonshine because he always seems like he's shit faced.
Yeah, but it's so random because I think they're watching like a game and these guys 4 are just chilling out drinking their beers, and then this guy's like, "Oh, you fucking piece of shit." So he says a worse word, which I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. But
yeah, it really comes out of nowhere. It's just like, wait, why does this guy have any problem with any of these?
Because
they're just like, how does this guy eat at any restaurant?
If
just people talking in the booth next to him is enough to
get him
to start a fist fight.
I was so confused. I was sitting here doing a thing. It's like, wait, why are they fighting? What happened? Like, it's rewinding.
I mean, is it just that, like, I guess the implication is that he saw the fancy clothes and then thought they were gay?
Maybe,
like,
I don't know. But he's specific.
He's never seen an English person before.
But he's specifically angry at Harry. Like the other ones, just he doesn't even recognize.
Maybe it's the sunglasses. They're the sunglass. He's like, hey, what do you think you're doing with that silly sunglasses? But he doesn't say that.
No. It's out of nowhere. I'm just having it run here on the side, just trying to see if anything happens. But we don't even see these guys really. We see them once in
they're hard. He comes out of nowhere. Like
we see them in a wide shot, just looking at the television, probably just watching a game.
They're flat out extras in that shot, though. Like they're not even.
Yeah,
they're not doing any. They're not involved in the story. They don't make eye contact with the characters. Like there's no setup for them at all. They're just all of a sudden picking a fight.
Yeah, he just stands up, was like, "Hey, you gay? What are you doing? Get out of here!" It's like, what?
Yeah, basically. Wasn't with those fancy clothes. It's like, wait, why do you care? They're just people in the next booth, man. Go back to mind your own business.
Yeah, and then they kind of subvert us. It's like, I'm gonna do the whole pub thing again, but he misses. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh. And they did.
Well, and you knew there was gonna be a twist too. So like they're setting it all up, and you're like, oh, why aren't they gonna ruin this sequence too? They're gonna do it for a 3rd time in 2 movies.
But yeah, but the idea is he might remember everything, but his coordination and stuff is not fully back, and it's like he sees like butterflies sometimes. But fine, I guess. Maybe they could have told him earlier before he picked a fight. I guess.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Merlin was aware, but he kind of gets the piss beaten out of him until Whiskey comes in and does his little lasso and whip action.
Yep.
It's just not a normal whip here. I mean, I guess it's fine. It's just I like the concept. I don't know if I like it in this movie. I'm not sure. It's just
I
I
mean,
don't know if
I guess
it goes a bit too far. I don't know. I like how it looks. Like I like it visually. I find it entertaining, but I don't know how well it fits. Like it seems.
I think it's because the idea of the umbrella and the briefcase being the Kingsman weapons, because they're the gentlemen's, the like rough and tumble Southern guys, like the good old boys. They're the ones that have like the lassos and the whip, because they're dealing with cows and horses and like all like the farm life basically. And I was like, fair enough, but also he like turns it into like a scorpion meteor hammer just on a whim, because he can like grab knife, like he's super good with it.
Oh
He's
yeah,
not,
he just grabs a
like
knife out of
superhuman
the air.
yeah. It grabs a knife out of the air, ties it around a guy that makes it stab him,
Yeah.
and then he throws him with the force of the whip, with the knife being the thing that's holding the whip, or not the whip, the lasso in place, because that's the lasso at this point. He then takes out a whip. He has 2 ropes. I don't know if that was clear.
Also, there's a bunch of pretty flumpy CGI as well. Like a chair looks kind of weird. His whip looks kind of awkward. Like it doesn't really fit.
Yeah, the
into the scene.
idea of all the things they're doing are impressive, but it's not done in a way that seems to fit with this universe. It's where they started really. I mean, I guess where they started was the dogs and the robot arm, but it's another big example of now Kingsman is a superhero world.
Yeah, because
than a grounded world.
Because in the first one, everything they did seemed kind of feasible to do. Even if it's like if an extreme degree at some points, but it's just like things like, oh yeah, I can see that happen, like a bit like athletic stuff and doing grabs and stuff, and they this is just like, no, he has a whip and a thing and it yeets people around. It's like, wow, okay.
Because we need a supervillain for this movie.
Right,
like a really threatening one, not just Charlie.
But now Poppy is putting herself on the telly worldwide, or only in the US? No, it's probably only in the US. I think it's only the US, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's only America she cares about.
Yeah, and her thing is basically, oh man, nobody knows who I am. I'm the best businesswoman around. I made so much money, but I want some fame and stuff. And I also want drugs to be legal and taxated and government mandated or something like that. And he's like, well, I've been distributing all them drugs, heroin, cannabis, crystal meth, cocaine, opium, ecstasy.
This is super unrealistic, because it makes it sound like every single drug that is ever made is made, I guess, where she makes all her robot tech. Because I'm just like, yo, man, you can grow a pot leaf in your pot plant in your backyard. Like you can't control all the weed. Get out of here. And and other drugs too can be made. Like, I mean, Breaking Bad is all about people who just cook meth.
Yeah,
it's not something you can stop people from doing like on their own.
Has been distributing all the drugs, and apparently to a very high degree that she has the monopoly of most of them, or like the highest percentage. So I guess if you're poor and can only buy the shitty drugs, I guess you're fine.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't know, but yeah, it's just it's like millions of people that have her drugs, and it's like, well,
she's a James Bond tier Gus Fring.
if you agree with my terms, I already have all the antidotes prepped and ready to go. Just agree to my terms, and there you go. By the way, here's Elton John. I'm gonna free him of his paralysis. But yeah, this is also where we learn about the different tiers. You have the blue rash, then you have paralysis, and then you die.
Yeah, this is the exposition sequence I was talking about. That like they do eventually full blown explain it, but as it's happening in the movie, you kind of don't know exactly what's going down. You can infer, but they don't show their hand too early, which I kind of liked.
And again, just Elton John, he gets out of a paralysis like, what have you done to me, you fucking bitch?
I love how brutal he is. He's so funny.
He's so angry. Like,
I mean, you know, honestly, I think like he's kind of given the realistic things that people would say. If it's like, I know they're not gonna kill me, and ultimately, if I sing, they're fine with whatever I do. They don't really care about anything I say. So I'm gonna let them have it every time I speak to them.
And she said, like, if you agree to all my terms, I have already antidote distributed to all major cities with drones and stuff.
Yeah, God.
But Elton John in the
major-
background just keeps going. He just there's this guy in the background who's like, "Get out of my fucking room!"
That's pretty funny. Okay, yeah, Elton came out of this movie unscathed.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. But wow, man, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so there's a major problem with the distribution of the antidote. Like, this is almost a fringy endgame video tier. Yeah, the snap would have caused a lot of deaths other than just the snap, because I'm like, hey, wait, they don't inject you.
No, they just distribute it.
Someone has to pour it into your mouth.
So if there's
anyone who's doing, if you're doing drugs and you're home alone,
yeah,
you better hope
fucked.
your family has found you. It's like, and people do that, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of drugs that aren't good to be out around while you're on them. So there's probably plenty of people locked in a place alone with no like, I don't know, is the drone gonna break in, and is there another protocol that'll open your mouth and pour it in? It's like, wow, man, like, why would you not just have them shoot people with little darts?
Yeah,
that makes so much more sense.
That should make more sense. But then you need an insurmountable amount of drones as well.
Well, I mean, I guess the idea is that they're well, I mean, you do anyways for this plan, but I guess that will, like, think of and they're big vials too. That's another thing. Like, the format of you drinking it is like probably like 5 ounces, like maybe 5 shots of booze, or 2 at least.
Maybe to compare it to what Valentine has done, all he needed was a couple of satellites, which he acquired throughout the time before he even started his mission, his plot. And he just went like, "Hey, you can use all the phones you already have. Just go grab this free SIM card that gives you free internet, phone, and everything. People just gonna grab it." And then on top of that,
major annual financial impact on every single person who comes and picks one up, and they are free. So
yes.
Like, well,
and even the ones who don't
not go get one.
And even the ones who don't have it, they still hear the sound of people that are around.
Yeah.
So
it's a way better plan.
Much more feasible to understand. While she has been making antidotes, drugs, and everything for I don't know how long. It's been distributed everywhere, and apparently she has like caches all around the world somewhere. It's like, man, that's a logistical nightmare. How many people has she working for her? That's crazy.
And I guess is all the vaccine antidote just being made in that chalet in Italy, or do they have factories all over the world pumping this?
I mean, they must have more factories because that one gets blown up with all the antidotes in there.
Oh yeah, you're right. I suppose.
Right
Does that mean a bunch of people in Italy are just fucked?
Yes.
Like, if that was one of the ones where it was like they're being stored there.
I mean, I guess she's not distributing to Italy because we're only talking about America, right?
Oh, so yeah. So it's well, I mean, like, I actually don't know about that, because she does say that her empire's worldwide, that she's the most successful businesswoman in the world and no one knows who she is. And Glastonbury is where the girl gets drugs. So,
but then why is only
London is where Tildy and not Brandon, the friend who lived.
Yeah, I guess I just got confused because we just focused on the Americas and the evil president, so I guess that just kind of confused me.
Yeah, no, it was confusing, but I think her plan was the world needs to not decriminalize, legalize all drugs, every single one. Like, have no drugs be illegal for recreational use, so that she could just become legit. Which, fair enough, but like, I feel like there's ways you could have gone about it other than global terrorism.
Yeah. Then we see Eggsy's one mate. He's just taking some drugs, and it's like, well, he's gonna be a focus. I don't think Eggsy even knows about him. He's just like, yeah, that happens. That is happening. We see Tequila having a little dance and then fall unconscious before he gets fridged into the cryopod. Yeah, we see the president man as well, looking at it. Doesn't say anything yet, but right after we see everybody go a bit crazy and go to all the hospitals, the president's like, "This is fucking sick, man. This is awesome. We're just gonna pretend like we agreed to with her, and then we're just gonna let all these junkies die, and we win the war on the drugs. Hooray! High five! Because we're evil. Evil president."
Yeah. Yeah, he's cackling bad guy president.
Yeah. It's not Obama anymore, which I found pretty funny.
Well, no, Obama's head blew up.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Obama's gone in this universe.
No, that's right. I forgot. Actually, I forgot. Yeah, we see him doing a deal. That's right. I guess he blew up. That's true.
So I mean, like that part did have continuity. And
that's even funnier. I forgot that his head blew up.
I mean, I guess he was supposed to be Biden.
Maybe
because Biden was Obama's vice president. So if Obama died, Biden would be president. That's interesting because this movie was made long before he was even a presidential candidate.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Greenwood's the actor though, and everyone should watch Fall of the House of Usher. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. They even stuck the landing this time. It's great.
Yeah. I blame Poe. He's good. Good source material to base your stuff on.
So yeah, then we see the statesmen have been listening to the president. They're like, "That's fucked up. You can't do that." And it's like, "You're right. We can't." And it's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do now?" And it's like, "Well, luckily, just now, Charlie and his girlfriend are talking to each other. It's like, oh, I need the antidote. Oh, meet me in Italy at this thing at the labs." Like, okay. So that was very convenient and fucking lame.
Yeah.
Because that happens twice here as well. It's like, oh, what do we do now? Well, here's the information. It's like, okay, to Italy we go. And then later on as well, it's like, oh, the Italy lab blew up. What now? Well, I heard this one name. Let's check this out. And it gets them exactly where they need to be. It's just really lame. Yeah, they go to Italy and both Gallahans, I guess.
Yeah.
Harry and Eggsy, they go there, even though Tequila's like, I don't agree with that. He's probably still weird and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
which I mean is fair. Like he was just shot in the head.
Also, Champagne has been kind of weird in the background. If you don't notice it, like the first time he's around, he just keeps sniffing that cigar he has, and then just puts it back in the little tube. And in this one, he opens up the bottle of whiskey and just rubs it below his nose so he can smell it.
Well, I mean, he appreciates his vices.
Yeah, but now we're in Italy. She gets the antidote. It's like, oh, please don't tell Poppy about it. Then our three homies arrive. Harry, you go get the control center. We need you to check that out. He's like, all right. He fucks up the shooting of the tranquilizer dart and then just knocks him out with a fire extinguisher. They go up with the lift. I'm just going to go through this real quick. There's not that much to talk about, really. We just need to find the lab, get some antidote, and get out of here. They do find it, and so the whole idea is to, grab a sample of the antidote. And they go, like, down the thing. He talks to the guy. And it's like, oh, I'm here to pick up this batch of antidote. It's like, okay. Are you, like, for Singapore? I don't even know why you would ask that, for starters. He's like, yeah, that's me. Oh, are you,
Wang Lo Wang or something? Like, it's a very Asian name.
Very Asian name. I've written it down here.
East Asian.
Where is it?
I still think he hesitates too long, though. Because the guy says, like, what's the name? And then he's like, that's your name? And Eggsy takes a second.
Right.
You should have just been like, yeah.
Yeah. Terms of later personal interest?
JoJo's scratching herself.
I was going to say, what's happening over there?
That's JoJo at the other end of the couch scratching her ear. JoJo, come here. Little puppy. She's cute.
Damn it, I can't find it. Anyway, it's like a very East Asian name. The reason I'm pointing,
it's like a 3-word name that's all single syllable. Then
yeah. The reason I
one that
point that
doesn't look like it belongs to X.
no. I think it was sung. It wasn't. Whatever. I'll probably find it later after the scene.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's me. And then Charlie sees him. It's like, is that you? How are you still alive? And then he grabs one of the samples and starts running away. So, if the whole point of them getting one of the antidotes and getting out of this place, that's the whole reason. You know how there's like a whole stack of all these antidotes, like right when they enter?
Yeah.
It's like in arm's reach. Just grab like 5 and leave. You don't even need to go down there.
That might have been a good idea. Yes, you're correct.
I'm gonna show it on screen here, but if you can see here, you can reach over there, grab some of those, or grab some of those. Actually, a little bit farther right, they look like they're even closer to the guardrail here.
And you only need one.
You need one. You could have grabbed a couple in case one breaks. Like, just grab a couple and get out of here. The guy down there hasn't even noticed them yet, which is insane to me. Like, he should be like, why did the secret door just open? Who is that? But yeah, that's we need the next action scene to happen. That's kind of how it feels like. I don't even know if they thought about this. They probably just wanted the visual and didn't think about what this means, because he could have just easily grabbed a couple of them. Whatever.
Yeah. Master of sleight of hand.
You don't need to be a master of sleight of hand. You just go to the right and nobody can see you anymore.
No, what I mean is he is one. So it's like, wait, why did you can? This should be a piece of cake, man.
Oh yeah, I don't think they use that trait of his in this movie at all.
Wu-Ting Feng is the name.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, Charlie goes after him. Harry has a little bit of his episode. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned before. He sees butterflies when he's having one of his crazy episodes and is not responsive. But he makes them close the door of the lift, so he goes back down. Also, they lock the door, the secret door, before they can get out. They get them a little bit of time. Beepity boppity boop. And Charlie follows them and just sees them go down. But he can also hack stuff, and he makes the lift spin really fast. And I'm just confused why it can even do that, but
it probably wouldn't be able to. So this must be like another defense measure that they have for the thing. I guess. I mean, like, I don't know.
Like it's going,
or I guess it rotates so that you can get a good view. But I mean, you can just walk to the other side.
I don't think they would make it go that fast that like they get pinned to the wall fast and pass out. But yeah, Tequila uses his whip to make a hole, because it's not just a whip; it's an electric whip that can cut through things. And I was like, "What the? Why?"
It's a lightsaber whip, effectively.
Pretty much. Let me see if I can get a good shot here for the. No, that's not very good. So it cuts like a hole in the thing, and then it extends quite far. Like, I don't think it even should reach that far. So basically, he cuts a hole into the side down here. And then his whip goes all the way up to the cables, all lightning, and just cuts it off.
Yeah.
So they get knocked down the thing and start sliding down.
It probably wouldn't survive the fall from up at the cables inside that thing down to but they do, and it seems to not even really hurt them.
No, it's no, it doesn't. It does just slide down and get close to like a like an old folks home that's like up in the mountains. Looks pretty chill, but they're like, oh god, this actually made me laugh, because they stop right in front of them because they opened a parachute to make them go slower. I don't think that makes physically any sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But we have these old people looking at it. It stops right in front. The one guy goes like, "That's the first decent shit I had in weeks," because he was so scared.
Yeah, that was a pretty good line.
It was a bit me laugh.
That's the first decent shit I've had in weeks. this is an old guy like with a respirator, like a little nasal cannula on. So, I mean, like I did think that making that like a bunch of old people, like almost a retirement home, did have the added effect of making it totally make sense why none of them are running.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, okay, no, like these aren't very mobile people. Like they're like, oh, we're not gonna be able to get away from that, even if we do try to get up.
Yeah.
Like we just gotta hope it stops. So we might as well just sit and either die or get saved
Just
somehow.
go like, ah.
Yeah.
Like these two, like in front and center, go like, ah.
Yeah, because any other city, like if you're at a ski chalet, everyone would see that big thing coming down the mountain super fast, and everyone would be shouting "run," and like that thing would be clear before it hits. It can only move down the mountain so fast, right?
Yeah, it's the first thing I had in weeks.
It's not like there's an engine behind it; it's just sliding at this point. That's a momentum, sure.
Yeah. So they meet up at a cabin where they're meant to regroup. And, well, this is where Tequila gets shot in the head. They look at the antidote, Harry arrives, and then there's a bunch of people coming up, and he's like, look out, I'm gonna knock you down. And, yeah, the way he does it with the, I mean, we already talked about it earlier, so this is the scene now where they get attacked, and Tequila just, not Tequila, Whiskey, sorry.
Yeah.
Whiskey just kind of punches his arm, like it doesn't look like he's actually going to get him into cover first. And that's what Marc meant earlier, that he just should have said, like, hey, that Harry, when he shoots him in the face, like, oh, he deliberately pushed that out of your arm.
I'm not crazy. I don't just have a hunch. I witnessed him do a thing that was sloppier than I would have done if I was trying to do exactly this, but it was very much intentional. You need to trust me, Eggsy. That would have been totally fine. Like I would have been 100% fine with that explanation being what he says, but he's just like, I just had a hunch that he's evil.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, hold on. You'd explain it better.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the subtitles to see. Yeah, because they're trying to get him. Like, he's going outside to kill all the bad guys because he's not working for Poppy, right? That's important to point out. They think they might think that, but he is not, because he keeps killing all the things. Because Exy makes points like, you think he's working for the other ones because he just keeps killing all the soldiers. And yeah, because Harry just says, Exy, I think he could be working for the other side. And he just looks out, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, he's just like, it really doesn't look like that from here. And he's shooting the guys in the head. It's actually probably one of the better fight scenes in the movie.
It's pretty enjoyable.
On the CGI heavy side, but you know, you get some close-up headshots and some slick moves. Pedro Pascal, you know, doing his thing.
Stupid fucking soldiers, though, because they run up to him with their guns again. And it's I think what they're trying to say is they're still reloading, but I don't think they are, because there's a couple of them shooting again. And other people...
I see a couple, one shot at least, where there's like a guy that wasn't, or at least I remember it. I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now, so maybe you can correct me. Where one guy seems to just be actually just standing behind him with a like low ready position submachine gun while he's like killing two of his friends, and then he lifts his gun just in time for Pedro Pascal to turn around and knock it out of his hand and shoot him. Yeah. And I'm like, wait. I was like, hold on.
I mean, it looks very stylish, very entertaining. But he gets a whole bunch of plot armor here. Like you see, I'm going to show it here for the audience. You can see this guy in the back. He's just running towards him. I don't know why. He has like a rifle, not even an SMG. He has a rifle, and he keeps running towards him. It's like, just take cover behind this tree over there and just start shooting him. It's the age-old problem. I don't even know if it's an age-old. I feel like this is a problem since in newer movies specifically. I could be wrong. I just don't remember it being that big of a problem, people with guns running towards enemies all the time.
I think it might be a consequence of wanting to have a very good fight scene, but not properly blocking it out. Even in editing, because I mean, like, you know, granted, if you ever say the words, I'll fix it in post, it's a bad plan already. But I mean, you can do things like say, okay, if we have this wide shot of this person and it really kind of seems like they're doing nothing or they're doing something kind of silly, why don't we just punch this shot in a bit? And then that way we don't see that person at all. So it's a bit of a closer shot, We're still getting a really good look at the stuff that looks good, but we've cut out the stuff that looks bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, ideally, if you frame it properly for that, you were thinking about that before you even hit record. So, but yeah, it did seem like this because of the amount of people and the openness of the environment that it was pretty hard for them to make this look as grounded as even the hallway fight at the end of the first one. Like where we were saying that was probably Eggsy's biggest moment of plot armor. At least he's in a narrow hallway, and it seems kind of like a confusing place to fight in. Whereas the big wide or confusing place to watch a fight in, I should say, it's a far less confusing place to fight in. Actually, it's just a straight hallway. But you know, there's turns and things like that. We're seeing angles. Where here it's just wide open. Like and he's not behind any kind of cover.
No, he's behind a rock at some point, but that's when they already started firing. So
most of the time he's out between a bunch of rocks doing crazy lasso stuff.
Yeah, lasso and with his revolvers.
Yeah, the like quad revolver because it's like 2 dual barrel revolvers.
Yeah,
it's an over under too. It's not even a like it's not. It doesn't look like a double barrel shotgun. It looks like I guess an over under shotgun, like where there's 2 barrels stacked on top of each other, but there's like a big space in between them. I kind of wonder though if it's firing 2 rounds at the same time, or just 1 round at a time. So do you have double the amount of ammo, or do you have 2 shots per pull?
It looks like it's only shooting out of one of the.
Well, then it kind of makes you wonder what the second barrel is. Maybe that's something they'll shoot like darts out of or something. I guess they're stun barrel.
You think they maybe were going for a similar thing with the shotgun cartridge, and that's why they put the second thing on there? Because it's definitely, it doesn't have its own ammo thing. Like it's just two of them. Yeah, I don't know. I've just, it's weird.
Yeah, it's one carousel, like 1 revolver carousel, and 2 barrels.
It's 2 barrels, yeah. But I don't think the bottom one does anything.
I mean, yeah, like I think that though, it being a spy agency, I could see them if they want. I mean, I think Matthew Bond does want to make more Kingsman movies, but if they ever show the Statesman again, I have a feeling we'll find out what the other barrel's for. It was just a bit odd to have that be such a visually distinct thing and not really do anything clear with it.
But yeah, now he goes back. Oh, troop carrier coming on, and then Harry shoots him in the face. It's like, Harry, give him the gun. He's like, nope, I'm gonna shoot him in the face. It's like, Harry, no.
Yeah, just boom, pulls the trigger. Didn't really give it a lot of time.
Yeah. And then, before they can talk, they start getting. They have. I'm just seeing this. I thought they had 1 guy with a Gatling gun, but there's like 3 or 4. Like they're screwed.
Yeah, they have multiple Gatling guns, and other people have like light machine guns as well. So it's not even like the Gatling guns are the only problem.
No, but he has like this Kingsman cologne or perfume, which does like an explosion with goop stuff. I'm actually not quite sure what that's supposed to be, but it takes them out all together at once.
Yeah, it's just a win button.
Pretty much.
It was kind of lame. Like it was just like, oh well, I have this whiskey bottle that I can throw out. Then we see blue flame in the background and just assume every single person is dead. But it didn't have any effect on the door or the cabin. So it's like, I don't know, is it like a neutron bomb that he just threw out there? They just kill all living things? We're not really shown, so we don't know. Like,
yeah, I'm just looking at the dialogue here because Harry says like, you should be thanking me for saving our arses. Like, saving our arses? Yeah. Try saying that to fucking whiskey.
He's like, no, I intentionally killed. Don't save him. Stop. Get that thing off him.
Yeah, no, because now he's giving him the dead. Alpha gel.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's gonna be fine later on. And then Harry, Eggsy doesn't tell Merlin what happened immediately. He's just kind of like, he got caught in the crossfire or something.
Yeah.
But not too far from now, Harry is just gonna tell him himself. So, I don't know. Yeah, they blow up the lab. They got out. And now the Charlie's girlfriend is dead, and the whole lab has been exploded. And this is where I mean where they just get the information because they talk about the guy again, because he just got that name from that random guard guy who was looking for the looking at the distribution. Yeah, Wu Ting Feng, Singapore. And it's like, who's that? He's like, exactly, just the only lead we have. It's like, oh wow, you just got that. And basically what they do is like they figure out I think he's working for the lawyer that is working with Poppy, and they find an email on their servers that has the coordinates to Poppy land. It's like, Jesus, wow, that was easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts of this script that feel like they were rushed out pretty fast without a lot of thought.
Oh, we also established that Ginger Ale wants to be an active agent. That's like a small subplot they just start here.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's like in other movies from here on out. Maybe
I believe that was the plan.
Because
it didn't take off right away, and then she ended up in John Wick.
It's so fucking random. She just says, "Oh man, did you ever wanted to go outside?" It's like, I don't know. Did you ask? He's like, "Yeah, but some of them always turned her down. I think it was whiskey." And
it almost makes me wonder if the reason, because I know that Halle Berry, this is just like some like Hollywood lore, I know that for John Wick 3, Halle Berry like actually got really good at training attack dogs. Like so she actually is in real life quite good at handling those kind of dogs. And with the amount of dog content in the Kingsman universe, it kind of makes me think, it's like, wait, was she training to do that for that movie?
Oh,
and
could
then
be,
John
yeah.
Wick is like, oh, well, I mean, no Kingsman movie's coming out, but you want to be in a John Wick film? Because we could pretty easily write you in.
Yeah.
I mean, might happen. I don't know. That's fiction, though. It's my fan fiction.
But yeah, they got their next idea. They need to go to Cambodia.
Yeah.
And then we see how everybody goes to the stadium where they just flood in to be contained, but just stacked
cages full of people.
Cages, yeah. You can see it from the top. It's actually kind of insane that no one is actually saying anything about that in the public.
Mm-hmm.
And also the secretary of the president, she took the drugs. It's like, well, I'm doing 20-hour work days for you, so sometimes I have a bit of the weeds to fucking chill out. And it's like, well, but you suck now. I hate you.
Oh, that's funny. I process that as her saying she's taking amphetamines to stay awake.
Or something like that, yeah. She's definitely taken some kind of drugs to cope with the 20-hour days.
All she says is some people can do that without chemical help.
Right.
But like the implication being, but I can't. I can't do what you need me to do unless I've got some assistance.
Yeah. So, hey, audience, look at this shit. It's because it's fucking insane to me. That's what
I can't see, but I'm looking at a cute puppy. Hey,
that's what they do. There's cages upon cages with multiple people in, I don't know, like a 1x1 cage, basically. And they're like
it's ultra small. And like, I mean, what are they doing about, defecation?
Oh, they don't care. That's all filthy junkies. They need to die.
I mean, God, though. Like, can you imagine being on the bottom of that stack?
I don't wanna.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is crazy, and you can see it from top because they need to use cranes to actually stack more people. I don't know how no one is outraged by this. This is never said because there's so many people that get inside. Like, I feel like just by yelling alone, the information gets outside, even if it would be closed. This is insane. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's really wild, and it came out of nowhere, kind of like, because again, like they had to throw in the evil president aspect.
Yeah.
Which I mean, they already kind of did in the previous one. Like much more subtlety, though, right? Like we just see the back of Obama's head.
Yeah.
And he's never referred to as Obama. It's just it looks like the back of Obama's head, and it's a guy clearly doing an Obama impression, like the voice actor.
Yeah. Here's an overhead view for you peoples at home. It's so many cages. And obviously the implication is there's a lot of these things around the US because they try to contain these guys so people can't see them die. Because the plan of the president is to pretend like they're in negotiations and agree, but then they just all die and they're like, we won the war against drugs.
Yeah. But I mean, wow, you'd have, I guess, especially if if that was public, like if the
Oh, this would have
the
come out
idea.
at some point. Like,
No, but
no.
I mean the threat. I mean, like even before any of it coming out or them doing anything, the threat was public. So everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows that the decision to or to not save everybody's life is on, I guess, the president only, because the only way you'd get it into law that fast is by doing it as an executive order.
Yeah.
But like, man, like, you know, it's like they could pretty easily like mess that up. So it's like, well, I mean, I don't,
Oh, that's
I
just
don't
going to
know.
be
It's just,
backlash anyway because they're like, oh, you weren't
yeah.
fast enough, and then people will complain about that.
Well,
It's
but
not
I
that
mean,
easy.
if everyone dies though, like the whole world would be like, oh, you didn't give in to the demand, and it was honestly a pretty easy one to at least play along with, you know, like to give in to just save everybody's life and then figure out what's going on and proceed from there. The only thing that happens in the interim is more people will be doing drugs for a bit. You know, like I would think there's no explanation the president can give for why the antidote did not get out there, unless like, yeah, no, I was just gonna cull all the drug users.
Yeah.
Why not? And then I won the war on drugs because she has no customers. So yeah, I guess it had to be worldwide then, because otherwise she'd be like, well, I have to cut. Like, there's other people who do drugs. They
Yeah.
don't only do drugs in America.
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah, but again, I think the problem is they felt like they had to take another stab at doing a world-ending scenario. That like you have to save the world now, when I don't know. I think they probably could have made the stakes different and less public, and
Yeah,
that probably
yeah.
would have been a better way to go. After the first movie had a very public threat, everyone was aware of the threat. People were directly involved in it at points,
Oh, yeah.
and by people I mean like all of them. Like,
Right. Oh, boy. But, yeah, that's the flammery, as we do.
adherence to formula, or I guess wanting to adhere to a formula in a movie where you're also constantly making like, conscious efforts to subvert. I don't know. It's just, this is a very bizarre script.
Yeah, yeah. Where did I? Oh, my notes come back. No. Oh my God. What have I done? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, put them all in the kit. That's where we were. Okay, I found it. Oh yeah, Harry tells Merlin's like, yeah, I shot him in the face. That was me. I had a hunch, basically. So let me actually look at the subtitles here again and see the actual dialogue. I shot Agent Whiskey deliberately, and then Merlin says why. He was working against us, and until we find out why, I say we trust no one. It's like, okay, that's not very convincing, Harry. because Eggsy is like, yeah, this is my fault. I thought he was ready, but he clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
And Whiskey is being treated in the back now, like he's gonna be fine soon.
And again, like Harry just doesn't seem to have much of a problem with that. Like that's the thing. It's like Harry's doing his best to seem strange. Like instead of just being like, oh no, guys, here's the deal. I figured it out. And say it confidently, not, oh, I had a hunch. Yeah, like that. It's so non-committal. So it's like, why would you shoot someone in the head if you're not really sure?
Yeah,
If
there's
you're
a
not confident enough
possibility
to say,
there's
"Yeah, I
a
figured it
double
out."
agent thing going on. And this is where
Yeah,
Merlin goes like, I don't think you're proper there, Dick. And then he starts asking about what happened on this mission and this one, and what's my favorite
Yeah.
musician. And he's like, I don't know.
And that's the one he doesn't know, because I guess like Harry just never cared.
Yeah.
Though they do establish Merlin being a fan of country music in the winery scene, like when they're
right,
still
yeah.
in England, and, yeah, because like he's drunk and then he starts talking about John Denver.
Right. And then Tildy calls back Eggsy finally, and she has the blue rash, and he's like, oh God, no. And then she goes into paralysis while they're talking. And he basically tells her, yeah, fine, I'm going to marry you like you asked earlier.
I did think that it was kind of funny that he was just holding her phone out in front of her, and it made it kind of perfect for them to continue talking like while she's paralyzed. And yeah, you know, that was well shot.
But now he has more urgency. It's like, I'm going to go with or without you, beepity boppity boop, because now my girlfriend is tapped, so now I have even more urgency. And they make their way to Cambodia. Oh yeah, they're on the plane and they're talking. Oh wait, the lawyer guy comes in there now as well. He does like a thing with the president, and he's like, "Ah, that dumb bitch actually thinks I'm gonna agree. I'm so evil, lame. I don't care."
Yeah.
Now we're in the plane on the way to Cambodia for a couple of hours, I guess, and they have a little talksy. Yeah, I think I said it already earlier. He's like, "Well, I have a girlfriend now. I know I'm not supposed to, but
I'm in love. Yeah.
I'm in love." And it's like, I'm not supposed to. I agree. I know, but that's just how it is. And then actually, like what Harry says next, like, you know what went through my head the last before I got shot. It's like, what is it? It's like nothing.
Yeah.
Never had companionship, love, anything to remember. No bittersweet memories.
He should remember Mr. Pickles, isn't that right, Jojo?
Yeah.
You little puppy.
And basically tells him, you know what? Let's go save your girl. It's like, yeah, I like that. That was fine. I like that. Because he recognizes that's probably important.
And there's an example of stakes that I think matter more than the whole rest of the world in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get me wrong, like objectively the whole rest of the world matters more. But to our character, I think it was honestly her and a few other people. Like it was just all the royalty or something was the plot. And because she's a princess, that would actually be a good reason to have him dating her in the next movie if you want to do something like that. And hey, the Kingsmen are supposed to be the secret service to the royal monarchy, right? And like the British monarchy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like I just think that it was a bad idea to make the stakes be everyone in the world is going to die, or effectively a good chunk of the population of the world is going to die instantly because one megalomaniac has this plan. Like, and they all know about it, I think. Because again, like you can still threaten the whole world, be like, yeah, this will end the world, and like the only people left will be these people. But 2 movies in a row where everyone knows is strange.
Yeah.
Because like, man, were there always big public apocalypses happening like this? Because that was kind of the big thing with Harry's, was that day I saved the world. It was just a normal day in the news. But it's just like neither of these stories have had a normal day in the news, but it was a world-ending threat.
That's true.
So it's like, well, I mean, why? Like 2 movies in a row? Come on, like you do. No, maybe, honestly, I think if this were the 3rd movie, I might hate it less.
Yeah, fair.
No, like, because even putting 1 movie in without Harry, I think might have been a good idea if you're going to bring him back.
Yeah, I don't like they brought him back immediately. And
yeah,
maybe
let Eggsy fly for a little.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, as I said, he's just like, yeah, all I felt was loneliness and regret, and having something worth living in life is important. That's basically the gist of it. And they're like, yeah. And then Merlin comes around, says like, okay, don't want to separate the party, but we're about to be in Cambodia, and Merlin's actually going to join them on this trip. And then they get a little bit of outfits and stuff, some weaponry, a briefcase or a suitcase that acts as a shield in a bit. Harry gets his umbrella.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was the best new gadget in the movie.
It looked really cool.
The riot shield briefcase, submachine gun rocket launcher.
Yeah. And now
I thought it was weird at first because I thought it was just going to be a submachine gun. I was like, oh, that looks kind of dorky compared to the umbrella, even, because the umbrella at least kind of looks like something you could do damage with. Where it's like, oh, it's a briefcase. I mean, I guess you could hit someone with it. And then it's like, oh, it's just a gun. I was like, why don't I just give him a gun? But then it started doing more stuff. So I was like, okay, gun/rocket launcher, and the riot shield is what sold me on the briefcase.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's cool, especially because it's just got the same. This part makes no sense actually. It's got the same type of view window that an actual riot shield would have, but it's the tech.
It's digital.
The umbrella
the digital thing, yeah.
So I was like, wait, why not just make the whole thing see through?
Yeah.
Like the umbrella is, It's like, why limit your field of view? That matters in a firefight.
Absolutely.
But it was cool. I liked it though. Overall, I thought the briefcase riot shield was a good one.
No, Whiskey is getting back up already, so that only took a couple of hours. And he's like, oh, hey, baby girl, you go fine? I'm just going to have some party. I want to have sex with you because I'm my old self. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to do this to you. And they use a picture of his childhood girlfriend, childhood sweetheart, that's like, it hit me all, and then he gets all his memories back instantly and is ready for duty. So bam. so easy. And this is a technology that we have now in this universe, and we shouldn't have because it's just.
But I mean, like, you got to think that he probably needs some time to acclimatize to even not having memories before he can start
Yeah.
remembering things, right? Like, it's like, is it healthy to show him his memory that snaps him back into reality
It shouldn't be.
immediately? Like,
It
you
also
wanna
makes you
make
wonder.
sure the guy-
It makes you wonder. Has this happened before to him?
I guess like, I mean, that part, honestly, that part makes sense. The idea that they know which memories will trigger them, or they have a good list of the things that they could show this person that might trigger them retrieving their memories. And,
Yeah, but the thing is, she
it,
instantly knew the exact one. Like it worked.
Yeah.
as she has, like she's done this before.
so yeah, the implication is that Whiskey in particular has at least been shot in the head one fire.
It's insane.
Or they have they did a psychological analysis and figured out the exact thing.
Yeah.
Like if they have a doctor there, they can just figure out someone's key and not even tell them. Like, because that would probably be the way to do it.
Yeah,
It's like,
whatever
you
it is,
talk to them
they know how to fix them immediately, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a bad story mechanic though. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, this I'm trying to work out the specifics of how I could ever make that work, but ultimately, it's a big problem here. It really pulls a lot of the wind out of the sails when
Yeah.
like a headshot. It's eliminated the headshot as a viable threat. How do you do that
Yeah.
without like armor or something, or like headless enemies?
Yeah, Whiskey is now making his way to Cambodia as well, meeting the other guys, and he's being hesitant to tell them what's been happening, to tell Ginger Ale what happened, because like, why did he shoot you in the face? And he just hesitates, because like, because you didn't fix him right. Like, he didn't tell him that they had a hunch.
Yeah, that seems sus. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know that you really should have convinced her with that. I think
Yeah.
I would be like, okay. Because I've spoken to him since now. I mean, like, we're leading this mission here, and it seems like he's doing okay. You know? Oh, I guess no. Wait, they're not leading the mission. They're doing that dark because they don't trust the statesman.
Sorry.
But I mean, like, I guess theoretically, as much as I said, at least in this movie, Champagne, like Jeff Bridges' character, is altruistic, and he seems like he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
I like the reason that Whiskey has, like, which I guess we can get to. It does kind of benefit all of the statesmen.
Right. So yeah, the three lads, they're making their way to the compound or the little town in Cambodia, and they have a little minesweeper thingy. But I guess Eggsy misses one, and he steps on one of the mines. And Merle's like, well, I have this little freeze spray. I'm gonna do this, and we have like a little time to get rid. And he pushes them away and steps on it himself. And the idea is he's repaying Eggsy's dad because he saved them back at the beginning of the first movie.
Now, was Merlin there?
I think
Because
he was.
I thought it was just Galahad and Lancelot.
I thought he was. Wasn't there 4 people? I might misremember. Maybe I
don't know.
misremembered.
Yeah, I think it's me who's misremembering, because when he said that, I was like, was Merlin there? I feel like there was three of them. There was Eggsy's dad, Merlin, and Lancelot who dies. Or no, Lancelot who lives. The enemy dies and Eggsy's father dies.
Right.
Lancelot dies later. That's probably what confused me. He dies like 2 scenes afterwards. This is the ski chalet slice in half guy.
Let me see if we can check it real quick, because now I'm curious, because that's might be a good point. Because he's been mostly an off-field operator, basically. But maybe he was like on field at some point.
Well, the implication is that because like he can clearly fight quite well. Oh god, I fired up the Kingsman.
Oh god, me too. This sounds okay. Let me see here. The beginning. How many people are there?
It's like the very beginning
There's
too.
4 of them are there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 of them are there. One of them is Eggsy's dad. So, yeah, it's very much possible that one of them.
No, yeah, you're right.
Merlin.
There's one guy back in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You get that one, movie. You get that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it was my mistake. Yeah. I will never argue with a very clear correction. Like, sometimes I will just get stuff wrong, but it's like, no, there's 4 people in that room. The worst thing you could say at that point is, no, there's 3.
No,
That 4th guy wasn't Merlin. He wasn't Merlin.
he was just a guy
It's
with
like, no.
diarrhea.
Like, no, dude, it's a guy in a gas mask. We established that it's Merlin. That actually might have been something they did on purpose to be like, let's put another person in this room, just so if we want to say someone else was that guy, like maybe we'll have it be a new agent or something like that, or an agent that comes back or that went evil or something like that. And like there's things you like the 006 of of Kingsman. We're going GoldenEye.
Right.
The first time I ever saw Sean Bean die that I remember.
Oh no.
Like when I was a kid, I mean, I guess I don't know. When I was a kid, I was probably like 1996 was GoldenEye or 95. Yeah, I was 11, so yeah, I was little.
Oh wow. But yeah, we're on the final stretch because now it's just all action.
Yeah, and not my favorite Kingsman action scene though. Like, actually, none of the ones with the rest of the movie I think are that spectacular.
Yeah. So what happens now? Merlin is on that mine. The other one's spread away from him, and he starts singing "Country Roads" to get the attention of the guards. Headbutts the first one, the other one come towards him, and then when he finishes the song, he steps off the mine and sacrifices himself to blow up the guards.
Yeah, which if like as a death scene, I thought that having like an orchestral chorus come in and start playing. Wait, what is that song called? Country Road.
I think it is called Country Roads.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big John Denver fan.
Well, the thing,
not that
I mean, there's a million
not-
versions.
yeah.
And, the thing is, I always knew it as Country Roads, but it wouldn't be the first time that it might be called completely differently.
it would make sense. I know that it's the kind of song that I might say the name of because I assume it's the most prominent word in the song, and then it ends up being something totally different. I try to be careful with that because that does happen to people.
Oh, apparently the full name is Take Me Home Country Roads, but it's simply known as Country Roads. Okay, so I guess everyone just shortened it to Country Roads.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. But again, like, I'm not trying to claim John Denver cred. I just want to be clear about that. I don't think he's bad. I think that's a great song, but it's probably the only one of his that I am even aware of.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Jojo. Making my puffy cough. Puffy cough. It's okay, Jojo.
But yeah, they're making their way into the compound. And we get the big action scene with the umbrella and the thingy. There's like all kinds of shenanigans happening.
Yeah, and I guess I already kind of did the play-by-play of what the briefcase riot shield is.
Yeah, it starts off as being just a machine gun, then later a rocket launcher, and then a riot shield. It looks fine visually, but there's a couple of instances where they get surrounded from the back, and the people don't start shooting immediately, so they have time to turn around and hide behind their umbrellas and tactical shields. That's another thing. Like, it's kind of weird because you have all these buildings there, and they don't do a thing where they go through the buildings, so they have cover and everything. They're just in the open, in the middle of the thing. I feel like it would be like the easiest way to do it, to make it more believable. Them surviving. I mean, they do the whole thing with the big donut, hide behind that, and don't get hit. And then
there was a lot of gimmick kills in this one. I found, like the scissors.
Oh yeah, he shoots like the big scissor thingies, and they stab people on the ground. He shoots the rocket at the guy. I think he shoots the rocket into the rocket launcher of the other guy. Yeah,
which again, like that's one hell of a shot. Too.
Yeah. In between, we have a funny Elton John scene again because he beats up 3 of those guys who are supposed to guard him. And
that's the thing. It's like the secret is that Elton John is actually a pretty good fighter.
He just fucking does some kung fu moves and just kicks the piss out of them. It's kind of funny.
Very, very good CGI flying kick at the end too.
Yeah. Like the shooting sequence has like a lot of luckily timed things for them. For some reason, they don't really encircle our heroes because that would be a problem, of course, for them. They always have enough time to get their apparatuses out and get shielded and stuff. So yeah, I feel like they did a way better job in the first one of making it believable that it doesn't get hit when he's just jumping around with all the acrobatics and gymnastics. Yeah, there's like this one scene where right after the scissor thing happens, there's like 4 or 5 people appear behind them, and they go out and don't shoot immediately, so they have time to turn around and use the thing. And of course, the last kill is the robot lady. And I think
that one wasn't bad, but it's also like, do we ever find out anything about that device? It's like a bolo that he throws that's magnetized.
I think it's just a
catches all the
bola that he
grenades.
aimed incredibly, crazily good, so it just entangles all 3 of them. I think that's all
Oh, really?
that was.
I kind of, because it sort of lights up. It gets that like kind of lightning thing going, and then I thought it seemed like the grenades kind of sucked into it.
Let me see here.
Which, I mean, you know, like as a defense mechanism, like, hey, if you ever see a grenade launcher, throw one of these. I think you could count on that a lot more than if you just have to tie 3 grenades up in midair and hope that you get them all.
Oh, it actually has like a grabby thing on front of it. It has like 3 grabby things, like it's supposed to catch onto something. It looks like it grabs 2 of them, and the last one just gets grabbed by the rope.
The rope itself,
and shoots it back. It's like, all right.
Yeah, see, I guess I processed that as, okay, that thing's probably magnetized. Like it sucked them all in. And was
one
like,
way or another, it's an insane shot.
Yeah.
Also, I guess they're lucky that the robot thing came last with all those grenades. I know why it took so long.
It's sure a good thing they never had to fight a single other robot in that whole fight.
Yeah, that's one of the 3 robot beings on this in this place.
I mean, why are the dogs not in play here? That's kind of what I was wondering. It's like they don't both need to be guarding Elton John.
Well, they're not guarding anything. They're just chilling in the diner.
The diner, yeah.
And the thing is, one of them is being charged right now. It's at like 89%. For some reason, it's not allowed to leave until it's at 100. So only one of the dogs gets to fight Harry for now.
Yeah, because if there were 2, there'd be no way that the strategy would work.
Yeah. So obviously, Eggsy is fighting Charlie with his new badass arm. He's just doing normal hand-to-hand combat for a while until he remembers that he has a watch that hacks all the things. I know, when they actually do like the hand-to-hand combat, is actually, I enjoy that much more because there's no weapons involved.
Yeah. Generally, I find that the close-up, more local battles in these movies tend to be a little bit better than the large-scale ones.
Harry is fighting one of the dogs. It's just I don't know. It's just lame a bit. It's just, this is a strong robot dog, and he has to defend himself with various thingies like a bowling pin, and just kind of yeets it around until Deus Ex Elton comes into frame. It's like, friendly. I was like,
Rocket Man. Like Rocket Man starts playing.
Yeah.
Jojo, Elton John's not here.
Elton John is a friend, Jojo.
Yeah, Elton John friend.
It's like, it's just lame. I just want him to fight by himself, but then Elton's like, hello, a friend, and then he doesn't get attacked, and Harry just uses bowling balls left and right to beat the piss out of the bowling dog. The robot dog. It's not a bowling dog.
Yeah, it's in a bowling alley. It's a bowling dog while it's in there. Isn't that right, Rocky?
Right outside of the bowling alley, Eggsy remembers that he can hack the arm and just makes it do weird things and grab into the tree. And basically he hangs himself up there with the thingy while Harry is beating the piss out of the dog. It's just
while entirely forgetting about the watch he was given.
Yes. But hey, there's a second one. He's going to use it at that one, right?
No, not that.
There's another kind of fun Elton John scene, because it's like, oh, you're going to go off save the world now? It's like, yeah, but if I do, can I get some, can I do tickets to your, can I do tickets to your concerts? It's like, dude, if you can save the world, you get backstage passes. Obviously, we're doing a little
kiss.
little reimagining of that ending scene in
Yeah,
the first one. It's kind of funny.
with it being a little bit more cheeky and probably less sexual than you're expecting because of the way the joke ends in the first movie.
Yeah.
And like that Elton John is like one of the most gay men on the planet.
Yeah.
So like you're thinking that like, oh man, they might have Elton John say, if you save the world, that you could fuck me in the asshole.
I was wondering if they would go for it.
Jojo did not like that.
I would have laughed my ass off, but that was kind of nice, kind of fun as well. I like that.
Yeah, and you know it was more appropriate too. Like I think because Elton John, like he's knighted, right? Like you kind of want to show him a little bit of respect in a movie that's all about like gentlemanly conduct.
But yeah, now Charlie is hanging from the tree with his arm attached there because it's hacked, and Harry has to fight the other dog now. But don't worry, he gets chased into the room that has the gold of the ring thing, which apparently is heated at all times in case they need to brand someone.
Yeah, they're wasting a lot of their probably limited energy sources up there by keeping the gold at a tattooing temperature at all times.
Yeah, you just kind of
you can't remelt gold.
No,
once it's melted, you have to keep it hot forever. It's
true.
done. Just burns away.
Yeah, Harry just kind of uses I think it's like a deodorant thingy, like a hairspray bottle, lights that on fire somehow, and just kind of doesn't do anything. He basically just uses the gold to tip it on top of the dog, and it melts away and dies.
Well, the dog is actually screaming in pain too. The robot dog.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's
it's
horrible.
The gold gets on, the dog's like, ah, ah. I'm like, why does it care? I was like, isn't it just covered in hot gold now? Like, should it just shut down once the gold has burned through, assuming it can burn through the metal it's made of?
Why have I been programmed with pain receptors? Ah!
Yeah, literally, like, seriously, it was like a Futurama joke or something.
In the meantime, Eggsy is fighting Charlie with one hand because he's gentlemanly, and he beats him pretty easily because he's way better at fighting.
Just more competent dude.
Yeah. And then he's like, this is for all my friendos, and breaks his neck.
I liked the lock he had him in, because especially with him just having one arm, like the way he anchored his arm, he actually might have enough force that I could believe he could break his neck like that.
Right.
Because very often in movies you'll see like almost they touch the person and it snaps their neck like in an instant. It's like, no, you need a lot of leverage to break a neck. And he's like pinned to the ground with a knee on his back, and it's his opposite hand. So he's reaching, I guess, because it's his right hand behind his back. So Eggsy's reaching his left arm across his body and grabbing his chin, like the left side of his chin. So wrapping it all the way around and underneath. And then just with all his force cranks his arm back while he's braced into the ground. And that was one of the first times there was like a very unconventional neck break choke kill in a movie where it was like, that's because you might be thinking, oh, he could just get out of there. It's like, no, his arm's kind of where it can't do anything. And he has a knee on his back between his shoulder blades. So his left arm's not doing anything. He has no right arm. And yeah, that's enough. You're like, Eggsy's a strong guy, man. That's enough pressure that he can put enough pressure on your spine that it might snap your spinal column. So yeah, good on them for thinking that one through, and not just having Eggsy break a guy's neck with his left hand while like freestanding, Jojo, it's okay.
I like the little details like that. Pretty cool. So now with all the enemies dispatched, because that's it, we killed all of them with the robots. So now only Poppy is left. So they go in. It's like, give us the code. She's like, nah. And then they just kind of knock her down or hold her down, and they give her heroin that has a
lot of accelerated toxin heroin.
Yeah. And that tells her that makes her tell her the code, which is Viva la Vegan or something.
Viva Las Vegan, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was the implication that the only thing she ever grinds in that mincer is people?
Maybe. I was wondering in the beginning if she's just straight up a cannibal.
Oh. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that it's like she only ever uses that grinder to have someone kill one of their friends and then feed it to them.
Oh,
because
okay.
That's like the reveal that she's a vegan, so she doesn't need that big meat grinder for food ever. And it's
Oh,
also
okay.
why she was so comfortable just cooking up a human burger.
Right,
Because,
right. Yeah, maybe.
she's an animal rights person.
Man, this thing
Yeah,
must
right,
be a
Rocky.
nightmare to clean up, by the way. I just thought about that.
Don't worry,
Must
Rocky.
be
Never eat
gross.
a dog. Jojo. I know Mama threatens to eat you, but she won't. Seriously,
But
she
yeah,
does it all the time.
we're almost done here. They start to put in the key, but oh no, whiskey is back, fully loaded with all the things.
Final boss fight.
Final boss fight. Here we go. He's got Harry and the lasso. No, the whip. Sorry, it's the whip, and
Electric
the
whip.
gun pointed at Eggsy. Eggsy basically just uses. He tells us that. I'm not working for the president. That loser. It's just my own interest because my girlfriend back then was killed by some heroin junkies in the crossfire, and now I just want all people to die because they're now all bad. All junkies to die.
I like the idea of all drug users dying, but then he he takes away the personal thing and then makes it about money.
Yeah, it's like this is
he's-
very good for the stocks for the statesman. It's like what? What?
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, like that kind of is the thing that makes me seem like, okay, well, so were all the statesmen in on it?
No, I mean,
Because that
obviously
it does kind
not,
of
but
imply
man.
that, But that's the thing. It's like, so why not just give him a personal motivation and not have him mention the money at all? It's like, honestly, you had to make him a little bit more evil before you kill him the way you do.
Yeah, kind of.
And
Kind of what it
I
feels
don't
like.
think it really worked because it's like, well, if it's just for money, like what does he want for? And is this the only way he can get money? Like, it just seems kind of odd.
I mean,
And also, it's not just money for him; it's money for Champagne mostly.
Well, the thing is, they already have like a shit ton of money. Like their stocks are already going up. We see that early on in the movie. Like it's not like they need the money. And obviously, nobody thinks that except him. I think it's just like, oh, that might be nice. Like, yeah, but you don't need that. We already have your personal thingy going on, so you don't.
I mean, if anything, though, it also might make the liquor market way more competitive.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like, so it might actually have the opposite effect. If you make drugs totally illegal and all of the people in those industries, like any kind of recreational drug production thing, it's like, well, we can't do it because they'll just kill us all. I guess we could sell booze.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to still be in the vice business realm.
Well, but there you go. They use a blinding thing on their watch, and they start their boss fight. There's like some jumping through the lightning ropes, getting out of the rope pretty.
Didn't hack the lightning
quickly.
ropes under them.
I mean, I guess that one doesn't have a computer chip in it. I don't know.
Does it not? Like, I mean, it has lightning lightsaber powers. So I'm just like,
you don't need
you
don't need a computer chip to put lightning in something like that.
I don't know.
I don't feel like that's a thing you can hack with a device like that.
I feel like you would be able to disable it. Like, not say hack it, like control it against them, but it seemed like because there has to be a computer chip of some kind in there controlling that mechanism, and powering the thing.
I mean, you could just put electricity through it. I don't think you need. I'm pretty sure you don't need a computer chip for that. You can just
I guess that's
make
fair.
just an on button and then it goes. I mean, I didn't expect this to be hackable at all. It's just a weapon that's electric or lightning or whatever.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Okay, fair enough. I'll concede that.
But yeah, they have like a fight going on. They go back and forth, but they obviously win at the end. There's some pans being thrown, knives being thrown as well. He's actually getting the gun with the whip, which I always enjoy when they actually start going back for the gun. It's like, the guns are useful. Good job.
Yeah. Guns are extremely useful in close quarters combat.
Yeah, and somebody puts the whip around Eggsy's neck and throws the thing in the mincer that they turned on. So Harry shoots the whip, so it breaks, so he's free now. And that just ends up they put him in the mincer, and he gets minced. And
they do like an alley-oop.
They do an alley-oop, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually happened on screen exactly when you said alley-oop. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, look at that. I'm not even looking at the screen, guys. But yeah, no, it's Harry throws him up, and then Eggsy like slams him down into the mincer.
Yeah.
That was all right. It's not a bad death.
Yeah. Also, I think he says he says like a pun or something. Hang on, let me see if I can see it here. Put alpha gel on dead, dickhead. That's what he says.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad.
Well, yeah. Then they put the code in. All the drones start. Oh, actually, I lied. The antidote release. That's a map of the whole world. You were absolutely correct. In my brain, I thought this was only a map of the U.S., but I think that was just maybe
Well,
earlier.
I think both because this movie is it's not the Kingsman movie that will stick with you the best.
No,
Like
no.
I've now watched it twice this week and I'm still getting shit wrong. So yeah, I think that was an effect of our memories zeroing in on the fact that it seemed like the U.S. president was the only one who had to make any decisions.
That's true. Yeah, that's probably
They
probably
didn't
why.
seem
Yeah.
to talk to anyone else. It almost like assumes that the U.S. makes the call for the whole world or
Yeah.
something.
And it showed you on screen. It says antidote released, and it's like drones all around the world, like it's everywhere. So yeah, there you go. It was
You
the
gotta
whole
think,
world.
would you be
after all.
like if every country legalized it, would she just be like, nope, I'm still waiting on Liechtenstein,
It's
the
like,
country
"Aw,
I can't even say. It's like, wait, there's
dang it."
like 5 people in that country. Like,
They don't even have telephones. But yeah,
yeah.
there's they. Oh yeah, those drones. You see, even these drones, they just deliver like on trays. Hang on, let me show that on screen. Like as we said, they don't inject it. It's just little boxes that they
Yeah,
fly
boxes
into
of like
things. So if you're
science,
alone in
like
your flat,
chemistry
you're just
vials.
screwed.
It's like a chemistry vial too. It's huge. That's what I mean. It's like these drones are carrying around a lot of like a large volume of liquid
Yeah,
and glass. Like
there's bound to be
Jojo.
some that fail and just crash. So hopefully there's enough for everyone.
It would be easier for the drones to carry Jojo. Isn't that right, you little puppy?
But yeah, everyone gets their thingies. Everyone gets released from their cages. Those cages just crack me
Yeah.
up. It's so dumb.
Everyone in the world luckily has someone nearby who can administer the antidote to their paralyzed body.
Yeah. Obviously, everyone who's connected.
Orally.
Yeah. Obviously, everyone who's connected to Eggsy is fine. And they. Oh yeah, Halle Berry or Ginger Ale gets the place of whiskey, so she's an agent now. So she got what she wanted.
And so there was one thing that bothered me about that scene. So they offer Agent Whiskey to one of the Galahads.
Yes.
And they don't do anything with Galahad's code name because I was like, okay, so Galahad's going to become Arthur. Like that.
I mean,
that's
I guess
the
it would make
thing
sense.
that makes sense.
I mean, I haven't
like
seen
the old Galahad Senior.
I haven't seen the movie after. Oh wait, there's no movie after that in the timeline, right? All the other ones are prequels.
Yeah.
well, never mind.
The only other one is a prequel, unless you count Argyle as a sequel, I guess. Because it is, because you told me that they end up in the Kingsman distillery, right?
Oh, they don't. They give a flashback from a 20-year flashback, and there's like a.
Oh, okay.
It's like a pub that's called the Kingsman, and that's like 20 years in the past. So there's a connection there apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I clearly I did not see the scene. I just left the theater
Because I double checked online to see the meaning, and it's like, yeah, the movie that comes out is going to explain the connection to the Kingsman apparently. I would explore that. So
okay.
it's definitely a thing.
I mean, like Matthew Vaughn, I still believe you've got the talent to make great movies because I've seen your inconsistency in action.
Yeah.
And just like, man, take your time on the script for next. Especially if you're
Absolutely.
gonna link Argyle with Kingsman, like really think that through, man.
Yeah.
Think it through.
But yeah, now, as I already mentioned earlier, now the Kingsman and the Statesman, they're connected because now they bought a distillery in Scotland or something, and
Yeah, I guess in honor of Merlin to make single malt scotch.
yeah,
Yeah,
now they
I
have
kinda
a
like that, man.
they have a Kingsman, and now they basically share assets, and now they can rebuild. It's like, hooray!
And yeah, he said Jeff Bridges has a pretty good line where he says like, "Now we're no longer cousins, we're brothers."
Yeah, we're brothers. And I get another nice little scene where they look at the mirror again, and they kind of, they mirror the mirror scene from the first one. It's like, what do you see? It's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, basically. But also saying that, well, because of you, I'm now at heights I've never seen before. I'm doing pretty well for myself.
Yeah.
And Harry just praised him. He's like, yeah, you're doing quite well for yourself. And then they have the big old marriage with the princess, and it's all happy days. And we never talk about Roxy, JB, and his friend ever again.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
really
it's-
annoyed me. Also, Elton John is at the
Yeah,
party.
man. Yeah, and Elton John being at the party's fine. I don't mind that, but
No.
yeah, it did seem odd that so many characters died, and the movie did as much of a happy ending as it did without really mentioning them.
Yeah.
Especially because all I can think is all of those character deaths must have been them saying, this is the only way we're going to get people to let us bring Colin Firth back. Because if we're bringing him back, we need to prove that there's consequences in this universe still. So we're going to kill off some major characters. The problem is, I think they did it too quick and kind of disrespectfully, or at least with Roxy especially. Because I'm like, and Roxy, you should have given Roxy at least one action scene and had her do something other than just be Eggsy's guy in the chair. Because especially because she's the one who won the contest.
She
right?
did,
the trial. So it's like, man, we could have had her doing something other than like being in the balloon or like the balloon, low orbit craft and I don't know, helping him on his date. Essentially, is what she does.
Yeah, we never see her get into like a hand in hand fight. That's all she does. You're right. Oh, yeah, it's a bit lame. But yeah, that's well, the movie ends with Channing Tatum arriving at the Kingsman Taylor thingy, and then the movie ends. And I guess their idea was to do like a whole thing with him and the other people, and
yeah, and I suppose that's why they shelved him. Because they'd be like, look, we need the idea in this one is to have one of the statesmen be a bad guy.
Yeah.
And if we make it Channing Tatum, we're gonna have to kill him, and then we don't have him as the funny tequila agent in the next movie. You know.
But that movie hasn't happened yet, so we'll see.
We go to the past, to the beginning of the beginning of the second decade of the century.
But yeah, that's the movie. Pretty weak compared to the first one, and in general, lots of Fleam stuff, bunch of funny things, bunch of fun scenes, pretty good scenes, with especially when there's like Eggsy and Harry talking to each other,
and
talking
even,
about
like,
their past.
I completely agree that this is a movie that has a lot of individual good scenes, but it's one thing that I often. Well, I'll even reply to this on Twitter if I see someone being like, "Yeah, you guys who think Revenge of the Sith, what's the new one? Fucking Rise of Skywalker is bad. Are you forgetting how friggin' awesome this is? And it's Rey doing the lightsaber backflip thing with the TIE fighter." And I'm just like, yeah, but like, I think that's dumb, but I don't even address that there. It'll just be, scenes aren't movies though.
Yeah, exactly.
Moments aren't scenes. Scenes aren't movies. Like you can have a good moment in a scene and it still be a bad scene. And yeah, Jojo, I agree.
Like, yeah, that was a nice backflip, but she should be dead. And also now Kylo looks like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, because why the hell would
Which also should be dead because he crashed very hard, but he just gets out. It's like,
but
don't make me think about that movie. God damn it.
He created a force bubble just like Leia did.
Sure.
Jojo.
But yeah, the whole alpha gel thing, it's just, man. Maybe that's why they haven't done a movie after this, because they can't figure out how to get rid of this. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. At the very least, they did, I think, want to make a movie on a smaller budget, because Kingsman, again, it looks cheaper. It looks like there's a lot more CGI in place of real sets.
Right.
But the story's significantly better than Golden Circle. I think the characters in general are better. Although, I mean, I like Eggsy, and even with me not being crazy about Harry coming back, I did kind of like what they did with Harry.
Yeah, there's some fun things in there for sure.
The core concept is what bothered me. It's like, no, bringing him back to begin with, bad idea. It's already bad, and you can't bring it back from being bad because you're removing the climax of one of the best scenes in action movie history. Because I would honestly put it up there with at least the best Hollywood action scenes of all time. Because I know that once you start getting into like the weeds of like martial arts movies that most people haven't seen, so like you've got a million lists of things that could be better than the church fighting the first Kingsman. But I'm like, man, I can't think of a whole lot of Hollywood action scenes that I'd say are far and away better than that are of similar nature, awesome. Right? Because you'd be like, well, what about the chase in Terminator 2? I'd be like, well. Yeah, it's different, right? It's not like it's not really the same kind of thing. I mean, like up close and personal fight that if there are guns, they're used sparingly and it's brutal and fast and shot well. Like, because I think that actually the way that scene is shot and edited has far more to do with it being awesome than it just being a crazy situation where there's a secret agent fighting a bunch of normal people who've gone insane. Like, I think that they definitely did their best to make that an incredibly entertaining scene to watch. Whereas I don't think there was a single scene in this movie that came even close, even as far as like aesthetics and camera work went. The fight in the car, they did a lot of pretty cool camera stuff with, and maybe a bit of the end fight. There was a few kind of neat little things, but there was a lot less of the sort of kick-ass Kingsman 1 style, like cuts to first person, or like having him be upside down so the camera's upside down and you see the enemy kind of fall up because the camera's like Eggsy's perspective is being upside down, and that's one of the shots in the at the end fight or the hallway fight in Kingsman. And I just thought that Michael Bond was getting like a little less fancy in this one, and I don't know why, because I'm like, now that was kind of the main thing that set Kingsman apart from any other spy movie, because the Bourne movies have their own kind of style, but they're not stylish like Kingsman is. It's like a whole different league, and you could probably make the argument that, hey, yeah, but the Bourne movies are a little more grounded, and that's what I prefer, and fair enough. But Paul Greengrass cannot direct an action scene nearly as well as Matthew Vaughn can. And I think I will hold to that. But at the same time, I think that the insanity level in Kingsman gives him more flexibility to use that kind of style and have it not seem jarring. But I still think that it was amazing to see. And I think Kick-Ass, actually, if you rewatch Kick-Ass, that was the Big Daddy scene and the Hit Girl fight where she saves them at the end, like towards the end. Those are the two scenes where the camera work gets pretty wild and they do some really creative shots that, I was always pretty keen on. And that's why Kingsman being his follow-up, I was like, this guy's going to be one of the best directors of all time. And then Golden Circle was like, oh. And now he's made Argyle.
Don't remind me.
But hey, we got one decent one though in between those, and hey, we've already done Argyle. So,
never
we don't
again.
have to follow the release timeline. You don't ever have to watch that film again. You can watch the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was kind of entertaining, and then I'll just watch Kingsman and have a good time.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
But yeah, there you go. That's the Golden Circle. It's dumb. Go watch the first one.
Yeah, like watch the first one for sure. Only watch the Golden Circle if you're curious, but know that it does a lot of damage to the original film. But there is stuff to like in it, so it's not like you'd be totally wasting your time. It's just you're not gonna have nearly as good a time as you had with the first movie.
Absolutely. Well, that's all that. Anything else?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Well, I guess we're in the future, so I'll be returning from the Caribbean tomorrow, and I guess I'll be back to streaming maybe. On tomorrow, Monday.
Well, you have to find the link downstairs. I'll just be you'll see me before that. I'll be at home, so go away. You already know what I'm doing. But bye.
Bye.
Oh God, no.